Stream. Let me when I'm gonna turn I'm gonna mute everybody now in Discord, and then when I call on you, I'm gonna unmute you and then introduce you, alright? Alright, 1 second. Okay. So, let me know if you guys can hear me. Welcome, everybody. It's Taormino here. And today's a great day because we're going to be doing something a little different today. It's actually kind of something that we've mentioned in a few streams in the past. It's actually talking about spoopy, scary ghost stories. And I know it's kind of odd. It's in December, and we're talking about ghosts and possessions and just odd things that have happened to us in the past. But I figured we can go ahead and do it on a centralized stream where we all can have our voice heard if we want. So what I do have is I have a bunch of people here in our Discord that I'm slowly unmuting now. So everybody say hello. So, yeah, everyone say your username if you don't mind. The best dictator frozen. Got Code Mars. Carla Cologne. And we've got a few others. So I'm going to mute you guys again. What I'm noticing, too, is you guys are hearing me also speak, so it's actually slightly delayed. So I'm going to keep you guys muted until I call on you guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm looking at Cake the Human in chat, Carla, Code Mars, Lucky Scratch Fox, Gold Leafeon. Yo, it's the Discord squad. Twitch freaking sub me from you, Turbo. You got to resub every month, Carla. That's how it does it, unfortunately. It's weird. So, the way that we're going to structure this is I'm going to start with the story, just to lead things off. I do have some audio sources, and I'll try to make the story as quickly as I can. But then we're going to go into someone else's story after that, whether they have written down a story, or if they want to read off their own story to us. So, Vincent... This is a wonderful time, Vincent. Every time. Oh, you're making me gassy, dude. So, Vincent is actually... I'm gonna call you out, Vincent. Vincent actually was featured in the Thriller music video with that laugh. He's a great guy. So... Oh, conspiracy theory. Okay. So, there are some people that say that... Do you guys remember the missing Malaysia airline? It just disappeared off the face of the earth. Oh, you couldn't hear Vincent because I have... Hold on. There you go. Now you can hear me because I turned the desktop audio off. So the missing Malaysia airline, apparently it was stolen and hid so that it can be used for political reasons to pretend to be shot down by Russian government over Ukraine to start a war between those two countries. So the missing Malaysian airline was apparently hid so it can get shot over Ukraine to start some sort of war. Can you guys hear me now in Discord and excuse me, in chat? You have to mention it in chat. There we go. Yeah, I had the desktop muted for a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my story, and we're going to keep some Animal Crossing. By the way, it's flurrying. This is so adorable. I'm so excited here. I'm dressed up like Santa Claus. So, my story consists of... You silent for me on Twitch. I shouldn't be silent for you on Twitch. Can you guys hear my audio? Let me log into Twitch and just play it. Let's see. So, my story consists of... Alright, so that's good on Twitch. So, my story, and I told you guys a little bit in another stream, but just make it consistent. I was looking up. Okay, you can't hear me. I was looking up a way to find some sort of weird situation that I can go and hunt ghosts. It was in a time in which Ghost Hunters, the television show, was kind of getting popular, and my friend had a digital recorder. Now, this digital recorder was so old at the time. This was like in 2006 or 7. I say the date in the audio. That it didn't even have a USB cord to it. So the audio is literally me taking the physical digital recorder and putting it to the speaker of my laptop to record it. So the audio is a little jumbled. I ended up going to this place 3 times. Apparently the story is that a kid in college did not do well in his school grades, could not face his parents, and hung himself. Now, where the kid hung himself, there's this deep river ravine, and there was this huge bridge crossing over it. The river was dry, and apparently he hung himself for it. It was probably like 2 stories drop between the bridge and the ground. So me and my friends, Eric and Edgar, go there the very first night to try to see if we can experience some sort of ghostly activity. Let's see if I can find some audio here. So now this audio is actually from the first day that we were here.
Today is August 23rd, about 12:40 p.m. a.m. I'm with Eric, Edgar, Josh, and myself, Justin. We're at the Evergreen Bridge.
So I go into detail like I just mentioned. So what I was doing was I was showing the date and time in which this has happened. So this was actually done. When was that? I didn't even listen to the own audio. What?
About 12:40 p.m. a.m.
What was it?
Today is August 23rd, about 12:40 p.m.
All right. Well, I didn't say the year. August 23rd is when this happened. Me and my friends were constantly walking up and down the bridge, being extremely quiet. What I was doing throughout this audio was I was mentioning anybody that was walking up on the bridge and walking down on the bridge because it made footstep sounds. Looking down, if you're walking on the bridge, right, from my perspective, there were trees on the left-hand side, kind of overhanging on the side of the bridge. On the right side of the bridge, there was nothing. It was a huge gap. There was actually a massive rock down at the bed of the river. For some reason, my eyes kept fixating on this rock, and I kept thinking like I was seeing some sort of shadow. Now, when your eyes start to look at shadows, your brain automatically tries to configure what you're seeing into something familiar. So if you see a smudge in a mirror or something like that, and you automatically think you see a face, it's really because your brain is trying to associate something familiar with that smudge mark. So I understand this at this point, and I'm looking and I'm staring with eagle eyes at this rock because something seems funny, and it was very odd. So at this point, I start provoking the spirit. I start debating. I start pushing the spirit, the supposed spirit, because I didn't feel like I was getting anything. So let me see if I can pull that here.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I shouldn't have done it.
Were you afraid of your parents? Was that it? Afraid to tell them that you weren't good enough in a community college?
So there's long pauses when I'm asking these questions, and it's a style in which when you start using a digital recorder, sometimes you can't hear responses with your own ears. It's supposed to pick up on different frequencies. So the way that you want to ask questions is you want to leave 5 to 10 seconds after you ask a question for anything to happen. So right now, I'm kind of, yes, what's the audio? It's the first night of me experiencing my first interaction with the ghost. Code Mars, ooh, you're not supposed to do that. I shouldn't have done it. I was provoking a spirit. I was trying to anger it to show itself. So let's continue with the audio. Unfortunately, I don't know where all the timestamps are, so we're going to kind of feel around here. Okay. So this is very faint to hear. So I'm going to close the game for a second. I'm actually going to turn my desktop audio up. So I'm getting goosebumps here. So I'm taunting this spirit. I'm trying to provoke the spirit to show itself. Now, while I'm doing this, the digital recorder is about this big from this section, just tall, maybe about this wide. What I do is I have it clutched to my chest. And the reason why I have it clutched to my chest is that because I don't want to speak into the microphone, which was on the top of it when it's next to my mouth. And then also when my arm is out here or hanging out over here or hanging over here, I don't want volumes to be messed with. So this entire time, I saw Frozen Wolf. I'll read that in a little bit. I have this clutched to my chest so that my voice's audio isn't going to fluctuate. So what you're going to hear here, I'm going to play it a couple times. It took me a very long time to figure out exactly what this thing said. But I guarantee you it's going to give you chills. So here we go. Did you hear that? Let's play that again. It took me a really long time to figure out exactly what is said. But I'm going to tell you what I think it says. And I'm going to play the audio again. Unless if you guys think you hear something else. It says, from my own ears, "You shouldn't have come here. I will kill you." I'm going to play it again. I'm getting goosebumps. Look at my arm. This isn't jokes. Let's play it again. The "I will kill you" is pretty prominent because it's right in the microphone. I'm going to turn up the desktop audio all the way to its max. So I'm sorry if I'm blowing your guys' ears. Please let me know if it's way too loud. I know this is hard to hear because it is a little jumbled, but I want to make sure you guys are hearing what I recorded here. Here, one more time. So that is... I'll break these stories up because they're long stories. So let me turn the desktop audio back down. So that was my first night. I did not hear that with my ears. That is something that when I went back to the vehicle after we left that night, is what we heard. This is why we don't taunt the spirits. Seriously. So, Aria, how you guys doing? Everybody, IKEA fanboy. We're doing something slightly different tonight. We're doing some ghost stories that we've experienced. I figured we'd do it in one stream while we play a little bit of Animal Crossing. I think it sounds like they're saying it feels painful. I can hear them. Let's see if we can hear that. And yeah, if you guys think you hear... Oop, let me hold on. If you guys think you hear something else, please post it in chat, because these are personal to me. This is something that realistically happened. I'm not fudging anything here. I swear on everything that I can swear on. Here's the audio again. Let me turn up the desktop audio. I thought it said, "Hey there, how are you?" I'm going to turn up my own microphone so I can hear it better. Okay, here we go. So that's what is that first part here? There's a hey. There's certainly a hey. So we can hear that, right? Right there. Hey. So we can all agree that it starts off with like, hey. Here's the rest of it. Something, 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 something. There's 4 words. So there's 4 different words here that we have to try to figure out what it says. Let's go back a little bit. So the things that are clear is the hey and the "I will kill you." So let's turn the desktop audio back down because we're going to jump into someone else's story in a second. Because after hearing this, not on the bridge, after we got back to the car, I freaked, for one. And 2, I said, let's come back tomorrow night. So I've got 2 other nights audio. So, all right. So that is one of my ghost stories. It's a part of it. I don't want to take the entire night, but I do want to get into other people's stories. Code Mars, do you want to go next? I'll wait for Code Mars to respond in the Twitch chat. Sounds like you shouldn't have come. I will kill you. Arya says, I could type mine in the Discord too. It's late. My boyfriend is about to sleep. That's fine, Arya. If you want to do it that way too, because I'm going to read Frozen's story in a little bit also. But I don't have your audio. I have you muted right now, Code Mars. So just let me know in chat. Okay. So I'm going to unmute Code Mars. All right, Code Mars is unmuted. Personally, think it says, "Hey, don't come here." Could have said that too. But I certainly get more audio in the next couple nights. All right, so Code Mars, can you hear me all right?
Can you hear me?
Beautiful, I can hear you. So, let me turn up your user volume. I want to make sure everybody can hear you. Say something again?
Sorry, I had you muted.
No, you're good. All right, I just wanted to check your audio. All right, so I wish I can turn this game's audio down, but I can't. All right, so Code Mars, go right ahead. I'm going to mute myself so I don't cut into your spotlight here. So go right ahead.
Alright, so I was hanging out with these friends in high school, and we were bored, and we thought it'd be a good idea to play with the Ouija board. So we started doing it, and all of a sudden, it gets really cold in there. And we're talking to this neighbor, Jimmy, who actually had, like, a father named Jimmy who died. So we're like, oh, we're talking to him. This is cool. Let's ask some questions about the neighbors. So then, we feel like the little shot glass we were using just taken over, and it just got like super, super cold, like where we were touching. And then that's when the kid we were with, Mike, who was just hanging out with us for like the first time, was like, oh yeah, I used to play with the Ouija board all the time, and I know all these demons. And then starts explaining to us how there's 11 demons called like Z, who was the leader. P was his like brother that didn't get along. And there was like K, M, C, a whole bunch of them. So turns out they're like following each one of us around, and like P was trying to attack Z, but trying to get to him through us, and it just continued over about 6 months where crazy stuff would happen in the house. Like my friend's mom was in the shower and the stove would come on. We were upstairs. So she's like, why is the stove on? Why are you guys just leaving the stove on? And we're like, we're not. We've been up here the whole time. So, like, crazy stuff like that happened. And they even, like, tried to possess some of my friends. It was just, like, a whole big crazy time.
So, question. Were any of you guys getting physically marked?
We weren't getting physically marked, but you could feel something was trying to take over your, like, consciousness.
That's terrifying.
Like, sometimes one of us would talk, and it would just not be our voice. And it would just, like this crazy laughing, kind of like Vincent.
Oh, God.
And then it's just like, oh, like, what's up, Sarah? And she's just like, I'm not Sarah.
Rule number 1, guys. Don't mess with a Ouija board. Like, seriously. That is terrifying.
Yeah, so it was like, for a while, so pretty much whenever I play the Ouija board now, which I swore it off, but it's like the one demon that kept trying to get to me, but, like, C was trying to protect me, I guess, from P, the, like, super evil one, but P kept taking over the board, so every time I even make a board, I'll talk to someone for maybe 30 seconds, and then I can just feel P take over.
Like, just like be in the presence, or like taking physically like over your body?
Take over the board. So where it will be talking to, like, shot glass will move and I can just feel P's presence, and then he's just like trying to make the figure 8 in the board, trying to release himself, and it's just like you need to tell him like stop, and then he stops, and then he tries it again. So you have to keep saying stop, and then goodbye, so then he'll go to goodbye.
So you were
that's-
making fake Ouija boards. Well, I don't want to say the word fake, but you were not using the, like, you can buy a Ouija board at Toys R Us. I just
Oh,
saw one
no.
tonight. You were actually using something else and still
We had
conjuring those.
We had a notebook, and we just wrote it out and used a shot glass or like a tape dispenser thing, like the thing that tape is on, and then we would burn them afterwards because that's what you're supposed to do.
So I always heard not to burn the Ouija board itself, but then I haven't heard about anything about making one. Do those
You're
rules
supposed
still
to burn
apply?
the homemade ones because it gets rid of the gateway.
Because I heard it was like, well, not the homemade one, but like the one you would purchase, like that, like just sends everything into a frenzy.
I played with that one, and it was just the same experience. Kept taking over.
That is so scary that
And people don't believe me until like I show them on the Ouija board. Like, no, it'll happen.
See, and I think that's like part of the scary part. It's like that's what they want, right?
Yeah.
They want that more of that attention, and like you're helping with it, not intentionally, but it's like, oh yeah, you don't believe my story here, let me show you, and that's exactly what they want. Never use the board alone, says Pokemon star Rachel. How you doing? How are you doing, everybody in chat? Don't touch Ouija boards, says Carla. Hey Turbo, you want a modern wall? Since I know you're trying to go for a Japanese kind of feel room, possibly. Bad things happen to people who use them alone, says Pokemon star Rachel.
Yeah, they can drive you crazy.
Frozen Wolf says, rule number 2, don't mess with Ouija boards. Rule number 3, really don't mess with Ouija boards. In all caps. Trust me, there are tons of stories of bad things that happen to people that use them alone. Look it up. Oh, yeah. I actually have 3 of my friends who are no longer on this earth that use the Ouija board together, actually. And I was saying it in another stream that I was going to be in the room with them, not doing anything with the Ouija board, and decided I didn't even want to be in the presence of it. That's crazy, Code Mars. Did you have anything to expand on that one, or any other questions?
I just feel like the whole experience made me more sensitive to spirits than I already was.
Now, did you physically hear anybody, or see anything, or feel anything? I know you're talking about kind of feeling through the board.
I always see stuff out of the corner of my eye and stuff, and like apart from like the stove and stuff, the door would just swing open, slam shut. I used to see a cat hanging around, and the landlady's like, "Oh yeah, the person who used to live here used to have a cat just like that, but it died."
Weird. Any of you guys have in chat on Twitch? Do you guys have questions for Code Mars' story? Because we'll probably get back to you. You said you've got other stories too, right, Code Mars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then we'll come back to you, but I want to see if anyone else has questions right now about that story. Because like for me, I don't know. It was just for me. I was always been told from scary situations that happen with other people with Ouija boards was just never, ever even just mess with it. But I think okay. So my question to you is, what got you interested in attempting to mess with a Ouija board? Did you think that kind of like the stories were jokes, or did you just want to kind of figure it out for yourself, or like what made you be like, yeah, let's mess with this? Or were you just not aware of Ouija boards?
Well, my mom used to play with them, and she'd be like, "I talked to Grandpa. He said this. Oh, I did it when I was pregnant with you." And then I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if it really works."
Okay, so it was more of an interest type kind of a thing. Let's see, Pokemon Star Rachel, I confess strange stuff have happened in my house after old pets have passed away. Carla says, there's some stuff that I never mess with, and that is a Ouija board. Cake the Human says, why the Ouija board, mama? In all caps. Pokemon Star Rachel, although some of my friends don't believe me. And you know what? Some won't, and that's why I find it like important to take the audio. Like that's why I have audio with me. Because even with audio, like people are still not going to believe you. You know, it's something that is important and special to you, and you, no matter how hard you try to describe it, some people just never believe you. You know, and that's sad. Code Mars said, I was young and dumb. Goldleafeon, don't pick me next. I've got to write it out. I won't be able to tell it right. That's fine. All right, Arya says, Ouija boards are scary things. The demons can disguise themselves as something it's not. That's true. The demons are liars. And then Goldevion's question to you, Code Mars, is, do you think it was because your mom played with one while she was pregnant with you? Do you think that's maybe why you had some possible interest in it? I think Code Mars muted herself again. But we can ask that question to her a little bit later. So she's got a BRB. That's fine. So the next story I want to read is not mine. It's actually Frozen Wolf, or in Discord, Frozen, Best Dictator Frozen. So I want to read his story next. So this kind of links back to my bad habit of randomly getting an English accent when I speak. We kind of talked about this last night, about reincarnations and stuff like that, and how I think I was an Englishman when I was in a past life. When I was a kid, like 9 or 10 or something, my family went to an air show, and there was an exhibit of a Spitfire from World War II. And when it was my turn to get in there, I felt like I knew where everything was, everything up. The guy who was in charge of it was like, "Oh, how do you think this thing starts up?" And I did start the engine up sequence correctly, and the guy was like, "How did you know that?" It took me like 4 months to figure it out correctly. The devil is a liar. This time it's appropriate, Vincent. Later on in life, continues Frozen, there was a simulator in the same air show, and I hopped in it, and it was a dogfight in a Spitfire. And there was supposed to be a super realistic simulation, but they didn't explain the controls. When I got to my turn, I performed amazingly. I knew how it worked. I knew how to work the flaps, the throttle, and whatnot. The guys in charge were super surprised, and they asked me if I'd ever had flight experience because I did the sim, and said it was nearly perfect. And that they didn't see me flying. They thought it was from a World War II RAF fighter pilot. And it was really surprising me, and it's the reason why I've become an aircraft engineer. Oh, that's awesome. And the best part, yes. I'm going to go back up and read your comments in a second, Rachel. And the best part was how when I got to open up a Spitfire, like to see the engine and whatnot, I was able to point out every specific part that were unique to a Spitfire and that would require you to look up the blueprints to even know. I think that I was a RAF pilot in a past life, and I occasionally have dreams too, flying in a plane and everything around me being on fire, and then I would slam into the ocean, then I would wake up. That's very creepy. Oh, wait, what am I doing? And this has happened multiple times too. So I always found that to be super spooky. So that's Frozen Wolf thinking that he, you've got a pretty good amount of evidence of past life, of being an Englishman, flying a plane in World War II. Going back into the chat here, my house is the current one my parents are in. My house has somewhat spooky history, but it's nothing extreme. This is Pokemon Star Rachel now telling a story. Our house once belonged to some drunk dude named Mr. Nagy. The spooky thing is Mr. Nagy died in the house because of health problems from his drinking. All right, so we'll let her continue on with that. All right, so that's so crazy. Have you ever done a past life recession meditation? So that's Arya to Frozen Wolf. Arya says no, or Frozen Wolf says no, not at all. It's just something that happens every now and then for me. Pokemon Star Rachel says, luckily the dude doesn't haunt the place. Well, that's good. Now, when we talk about haunts, since you're bringing up the word haunts, there's two different types of haunts. There's a residual haunt, and then there's an intellectual haunt. So the residual haunt is a haunt in which, say you were alive and you passed away, right? But your morning routine was always you get up out of bed, you walk into the bathroom, you close the door, you take a shower, you get out, you go back into the bedroom, you change your clothes, you walk out the front door. A residual haunt is, say, if you were in a house where somebody had died And like every morning, you'll hear footsteps from the bedroom, go to the bathroom, back to the bedroom, and out the front door. That's a residual haunt, and you experience it every night. It's like a tape recording that continues to play over and over and over on a loop. An intellectual haunt is something like I had with the audio that I played, in which I was speaking to something that was not there that had responded back to me. That is an intelligent haunt that is able to experience what I'm saying and react to it. Twinkie the Food, what's going on? IKEA fanboy, oh. Yeah, I'm a pilot, by the way. That's awesome. Then you can relate to Frozen Wolf. Oh, let me read your comment up above. Me and my friends used a Ouija board on our school's broken elevator. It would get stuck often. And when we went downstairs, we thought it just got stuck again. But actually, when we went out, the first floor, it was creepy and covered in blood. So we decided to go in the elevator again, and it worked. And we decided to go in the elevator again and leave, and it worked. Thank God for that. We never spoken about it ever. Oh, geez. Arya says, there's a few guide ones on YouTube. I did one and was pretty shocked by a vision I saw. That is interesting. See, my mother was very like clairvoyant, and she's very sensitive to spirits, and I think I have some of it from that, but it's not like an extreme. So let me go ahead and read Arya's story. Anyone know how the glow sticks are used for Animal Crossing? I think they're just like an object to use. Yeah, we can... Wait, what am I giving him? Oh, that's fine. Okay, good. All right, Arya says, mine is about my grandma. My family were estranged from her for about 10 years. No family members were notified she was at the end of her life care until she had died. She had been stolen from while she was there. So, not by the hospice, by the way, but she was in some sort of care, and she had gotten robbed to a point, from what I'm getting so far. She loved her gold jewelry, but it was all gone after her death. I was staying with my boyfriend's family before the funeral, and in his kitchen, the plates would throw themselves on the floor. The first time we were like, oh, that's just a coincidence, but things in the house kept moving. My boyfriend was in the kitchen by himself, and a knife threw itself at him. I texted a family member like, we have a poltergeist, LOL. When we saw the members of the family, it had been happening. When I saw the members of the family, it had been happening to all of them too. My mom and auntie went to a psychic reading, and they picked up on it and said that she was mad and feisty. The next day of her funeral, we were in the crematorium. The music was supposed to stop at one point, and it turned back on her favorite song. I could almost hear her singing along. She was a singer. It was crazy. Even now, I can occasionally smell her and her cigarettes. That is a thing. That is a big thing. And I always know it's her, and I don't think she's mad anymore. Let's see. All right, so chat says, Twinkie, did I miss movie night? Movie night's going to be next Monday, Twinkie. We're going to do Panya. Pokemon Star Rachel. Anyway, after the old pets had passed, sometimes I still feel them in places where they used to sleep by my side. So you kind of feel like that imprint on you. All right, so the next story is by Lucky Fox. And I don't know how long we're going to do this stream, guys, but we'll have some fun here. Mine is about my old potentially house. I was walking through our hallway, passing through our parents' house, and I saw a girl with bold black hair and a long white dress. I walked back in and tried to find her, so I closed the door and I used my parents' flashlight to investigate. Nothing was there, so I decided to leave, but the door was locked. I slammed on it. This is a real story, Lucky, or are you writing a... So I slammed... Oh, hold on a second. But the door was locked. I slammed on it and it did nothing but sleep in the room. My parents came back from work at 6:30 p.m. and my parents noticed me locked inside of their room and freed me. I hugged them immediately. I cried and I told them everything. That night, my parents said they heard crying They were about to get up and check on me until I walked into their room. Apparently told them that my bed was shaking. They asked if it was just a nightmare, but I ignored them and I got into their bed and slept with them. I was 10-ish at the time. So that was from Lucky Fox. Nubikin, I think my house was haunted because there was a voice that said my real name and something that touched me on my arm. When I looked at my arm, there was nothing but a mark there. Okay, so that's fakeish, inspired by stories that his cousins had experienced. Oh my god, I have a crazy theory. Tell your theory, Remixer. This is just going to be like a little lax hangout stream. So what I want to do is I want to go into day 2 now, or I should say night 2. So night 2. Okay, so just to reiterate for some people that missed the first night, I went to a bridge in which somebody had committed suicide. I was trying to get them to connect with me through a digital recorder. I didn't get anything. I didn't feel anything. So I started provoking them. As I played with you guys just a little while ago, I got something along the lines of, "You shouldn't have come here. I will kill you." And I'll play that audio again for some of the newer people that are in chat. We'll just do that section of audio. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn the desktop audio up. All right, so that was the end of the first night. So I ended up having 2 different audio. I have to click on both of these. I haven't listened to these audios in such a long time. Okay, so that one I guess isn't going to play. Hopefully this one works. Okay.
Alright, this is Justin, Mark, and Josh at the Evergreen Bridge, August 26th, 12:05 a.m. That was a click of my phone. Alright, last time I was here a couple days ago, I felt like there wasn't anything here, but I caught EVP, was that you?
So right now I'm conducting an EVP session in which I'm asking questions and I'm giving a period of time in between when I ask a question and to receive a response. Vincent! Remixer's theory is, what if my dog is secretly hyper-intelligent but knows that if he acted intelligent, the government would take him away, so he acts really stupid to hide his intelligence? Plausible. That made me jump. Oh, I'm so sorry. The audio's so high up. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So I just basically described. I want to try to get. I got to fiddle around here.
That's just Mark and Josh slowly walk over to the side of the bridge with me.
Okay. So there's a point in the night. So because I'm on this rickety bridge, when we're walking on the bridge, you can hear people's footsteps. So every time I remember, I have this clutched to my chest. I actually think I have an audio recorder in here somewhere. And it's not readily available because it's generally the same size. I have one personally myself now. So I'm announcing when people are coming on the bridge and walking off the bridge. So let me see if I can find the part I'm trying to think of.
I need you to shake this bridge right now.
Trying to get him to shake the bridge. It doesn't happen.
Just go ahead, guys, go. Just go back. This is the best time for you to show yourself, to let others know that you're still here. Do something to let me know you're here.
Obviously that noise is an airplane.
Shake a branch, push the bridge.
I don't know why I'm asking him to push a bridge. That's so stupid. He's not going to have that much strength to push a bridge. As I was saying, since Pokemon Star Ranger, my old pets were gone, and sometimes I would feel like they used to lay by my side when I would nap on my sofa bed. And my teachers told me that I may be imagining it, but I don't think I was. And Frozen Wolf's got some good and bad news. I can feel presences like a yard or two away, says Remixer. So Remixer possibly maybe a sense of clairvoyant.
Say anything. Right at the end of this red light here, there's a speaker.
Listen to this.
Speak right into it.
It's coming up, I think.
You catch a noise, it's just a car. I'm going to leave. I'm never coming back. This is your only time to show yourself. I'm walking off the bridge.
Okay, maybe it wasn't on this one. Let me rewind a little bit, because I think I caught something this night.
I heard some knocking last time. Take the bridge harder.
My gate's not open.
That's just Mark and Josh slowly walk over to the side of the bridge with me. Best way that you show me. Best way to show that you're here.
All right, so at one point in this night, I think I caught something, but I can't figure it out. So one thing that happened on the second time that I showed up, my other audio for some reason doesn't seem to want to work. Let's see if I can get it this time. The item is missing, so we can't get to it. Whatever. One thing that was weird coming up on the second night, it was me, Mark. By the way, Mark is TacoRemix. It was actually one of the Kind OK Gamers. The way that we walk up to the bridge, right? You're walking up the walkway, then it kind of loops around, and then you walk up on the bridge, right? So when we walked up, we went like this, and we walked, so then we were staring straight down the bridge. I saw the weirdest thing, and the best way that I can describe it, it was white, and it was glowing, and it was as if you took like a blanket or like a sweater, and you just kind of dropped it on the ground, and it was kind of like a disheveled mess. I saw like this disheveled white glowing mass sitting on the other side of the bridge. And while there was a moonlight out and there was moon glow out, nothing would have reflected something as crazy as that. So what I ended up doing, this is back when we had crazy stupid flip phones that had no lights or flashlights on it. All I did was I immediately opened up my flashlight. This is before I recorded the audio. I stomped my foot and I said, hey, because what had happened was, because the tree branches were on the left of the bridge, for some reason I was staring at shadows again, and they were forming in a way that I thought that possibly two people were making out on the bridge. So I was really focused like in this direction, right? And then by the time I saw something here on the bridge straight ahead, I turned my head to look at it, and I saw this like weird glowing mass. So I pulled my phone out, and I started stomping on the ground. I was like, hey, as if it was like an animal or something. And I swear I didn't see it leave. It just disappeared, like within a blink of an eye. I started going towards it, and it disappeared. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It was just really, really odd. So then that's my night 2 story of my story on in California. Frozen Wolf, good news. My dad's out of the hospital. Congratulations. That's good. I hope he's doing well. Last week he slipped and fell in the shower, but he's fine. Good. Bad news is my family decided to do a shotgun dinner at Wendy's. Oh no. Well, go spend time with your family, Frozen. I appreciate you stopping on by. Trevor, I'm ready for my story. But if you have time, I can tell my made-up story. Okay, so I'm going to unmute the Gold Leafeon, and I'm going to stay so I can ask questions and stuff, so I won't mute myself. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute Gold Leafeon. Gold Leafeon will tell their story. Let me finish the rest of the chat, though, here. Carla was made more... Well, this is more of a coincidence, but I'm not sure. So one time my mom was dreaming, and she had a nightmare and saw a spirit of death taking away my older sister. Keep in mind, me and my family weren't in contact with my sister at the time, but we knew she was doing okay. It really shook my mom up, but she slowly was getting over it. Like a week later, we got news my sister had passed. And I'm sorry to hear that. I remember it happened when you got in contact with us a long time ago. Do want to buy some stuff from my recycling shop, Pokemon Star Rachel. I will move around more with the game once I get somebody else reading a story. I'll see you tomorrow or later. I'm going to try to do Sunday night stream. We're going to try, or a Sunday afternoon stream. Me and my wife are going to try to play The Sims 4, so maybe you guys can stop on by then. Can I come to thy town, please? I was zoned out a bit, says Cake Human. Maybe in a little bit, Nubikin. We're just kind of going through the motions just so we can tell the story. So, all right, Gold Leafeon, can you hear me? I got you unmuted on my end.
Hello?
There you go, Gold Leafeon. All right, so go ahead and tell your spoopy story.
Okay. When I was little, me and my family moved into a house. We lived there for about 2 days to a week. Is in this story. When I was about 2 or 3, the first day was fine. The house. I was in a room alone. My mom walked in and she saw me talking alone. She asked, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "My friend." I don't remember her name though. My parents thought she was just my imaginary friend. That night, I didn't go to sleep. I played with my friend, Ghost. My mom walked in and asked, "Why are you still awake?" "I don't know," I said. I woke up and yelled the girl's name. He told me to go back to sleep. Later that day, I got hurt while no one was around. We had to leave because she believed my friend was a ghost. That night, my mom walked in again. And saw there was a ghost. So we woke up very early and started packing. To this day, I still don't remember her name or what she looked like. I always had the thought that her name was Princess or Kaylee. Was 4. Every now and then, I feel like I'm being watched by her.
So, I think it's interesting that so many younger kids have like imaginary friends. We'll use finger quotes there, imaginary friends. I remember it went to a point in my life when I was a kid that I pretended to have an imaginary friend. How silly is that, right? I pretended to have an imaginary friend because I thought that was like what everybody else was doing. But realistically though, like, what is this friend that these children are having? You know, and I talked about it in a previous stream where we think that I want to keep this mahjong table. I think that kids' minds aren't as closed off. They're more open. So I think they're more susceptible to seeing spirits and ghosts and entities on different planes that we just normally don't communicate with because we think that you can't walk through a door. That's physics, right? But when you're a kid, sometimes you don't understand that. I brought up the analogy of, well, if you think hard enough, you can fly. You're right. So I just think it's funny that so many kids tell stories about having imaginary friends. And it's not like I ever crossed paths with Gold Evion, so I couldn't have told Gold Evion, when I was a kid, I thought that I made up I had an imaginary friend because everyone else had it. So then Gold Evion's like, oh yeah, I want to make up that I had one too. You know, so where did Gold Evion get that idea and where did I get that idea when we're completely different locations and completely different age groups? So it's like, it's something to really think about, you know? Like, what are all of these things? Are they ghosts? Are they like some sort of telepathic thing? Like, what is it? Like, what do you think, Gold Evion? Have you given it any other thought, as if like what it could have been? You just assume like it just could have been like a ghost of someone? Arya said in chat, my sister was like that when she was younger. She would speak to a man in her room, but she was afraid of him. We ended up having to cleanse her room with and hand crystals, and the entire house had bad energy. It was weird. And hang crystals is what she said. Goleva says, I think that maybe she used to live there or something. I know my mother, and it's more of I guess people kind of say it or do this because it's kind of done through a particular religious faith. But my mother, when we moved into new houses, she will burn sage. And she's not a religious person, but she'll burn sage to cleanse the house when they're newly there. I've never done that. Here's a brief story that I'll tell. I don't have any evidence, but unlike the other stories I tell throughout the night tonight, my wife and I were looking for houses, and this wasn't far too long ago. I'm clairvoyant to a point where I can sense spirits. I have yet to be able to see one physically with my eyes or hear them with my ears. There's 3 types of clairvoyant. You can hear them, you can see them, and you can feel them. I can feel them. I can feel a spirit when I walk into a room that it has something there, as if the air is thick, and that, like, I get like a pressure on the back of my neck, and I get this weird kind of lightheaded feeling. It's odd. It's just a weird feeling. The house was run down. I don't actually live that far from that house. It's still standing, says Golevion. So when we're looking for houses, we walked into this one house, and it looked fine from the outside. The second I crossed the threshold into this house, I'm telling you, I felt an immense amount of pressure on the back of my neck, and I turned to my wife immediately, and I said, this house doesn't feel right. I don't want to go through this. And my realtor ended up hearing me, and my realtor was like, well, it's probably just because the previous owner smoked. And I was like, that's not it. So we continue to look through the house. We go to the backyard, which had a screened-in porch. It had a sliding glass door here. And then we walked out onto the porch, and we looked at the backyard that had a triangle, because it kind of just the way that the land was, it was a triangle in the backyard. So we're standing on the porch all together. It's my realtor, me, and my wife. My wife is like, you know what? I've seen all I can see. So she starts to walk in to the house. And again, I'm still getting this uneasy feeling. So all of a sudden, as we start walking, I said, all right, yeah, let's get out of here. I don't want to see any more of the house. As we start walking off, I hear this ting, and we look up, and the bulb, that big round thick bulb that kind of like covers like light bulbs, a lot of people have them outside, a screw came loose, hit the porch. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now. Hit the porch. That glass ball flew down. Can you see this? The glass ball flew from the ceiling, hit the ground, and shattered. Completely shattered. And I pulled my realtor out of the way so it didn't hit her on the way down. And then my realtor was like, yeah, let's get out of here. I said, I agree with you. I don't want to see anything else in this house. So we ended up leaving the house fairly quickly. That was very odd. It was very thing. Killer Cupcakes in the chat. She can she can agree with that situation. Wow, I'm all 3, says Code Mars. Goldefion, I have all 3 as well. They're talking the reference of clairvoyance. I can tell my made-up story if you have enough time. We'll get to the made-up ones later. I want to talk about real ones because Code Mars has a couple still. Code Mars, my brother never believes me about these things. So, Code Mars, do you want to tell your next story? I'm going to run around town a little bit. It's so cool that it's flurrying right now in town. My boyfriend thinks it's nothing to walk through a grave. Heard on graves to get to a Pokestop while I'm crying because I can only feel presence and sadness of the people who dies. So before you get into that, Code Mars, for me, I think respecting people after they've passed is very important to me. To a point where I don't like walking on other people's graves, even though it's kind of like you have to get to other grave sites. I don't like doing it, and I will do everything in my power to not step over their grave. But go on with your story. Yeah, my lunch pack.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Go on with the story now. Billy Madison. You good, Code Mars? Arya says, in my house when I was 12, I saw a woman in a black dress. I told my mom, and we forgot about it. About 3 to 4 years ago, we were switching our Christmas lights, and my mom took a picture, and in one of the mirrors was a woman dressed in black. I'll try to find the picture and post it on Discord. Yes, please. Any type of evidence that you guys have will be spectacular. I love it because I want to dissect it. Sorry, my headphones were being annoying. You're good. Just start talking whenever you're good. Yeah, go right ahead. Interrupt me. That's fine.
Okay. So one time, I think I told you about this. I was like 2 or 3, and I couldn't like talk like clear yet. And then I just like was just babbling, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, when I was a little girl, I used to play over there. And it was just like some rundown old abandoned farmhouse on some back road. And then as soon as we went past it, it was like back to normal. My mom was just like all freaked out.
So to expand on your story, because Code Mars did tell me this story in the past. We discussed it before. So Code Mars is saying that when she was little, barely young enough to remember what she was doing, when their family were driving down the road past an old rundown home or farmhouse, she instantly was like, oh yeah, I used to play there. And then once they passed the property, it was kind of almost like nothing else. Like, all right, back to normal. Is that correct?
Yeah. Could I tell a couple of my mom's stories?
Yeah, sure.
So I guess her uncle used to live with them when she was young, and he used to watch her after school, and he ended up passing away. So I think it was like the same week or the week after she went to school again, and she came home, and he was just there in his chair like, how is school? And she's just like, oh, like froze, and then I guess she like ran outside the house and grandma, and she was just like, Uncle Harold's here, and my grandma was just like, yeah, whatever, get in there.
Thank you so much for the host, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No, you're fine. So then, I guess in the same house, because I used to live in like a trailer when she was like 7 or 8, she used to see kids playing with her toys at night. Sometimes she'd wake up and there would be like 7 kids in her playing with her toys.
That's weird. Like, kid ghosts scare me the most. Like, I don't like zombies personally. Not that zombies look scary, but like I just don't like being outnumbered. But if it's a kid zombie, it terrifies me. Like, if you hear like a dude going, oh, be like Vincent, like, dude, you're not scary. But you hear a kid laughter, no joke, terrifying.
And a lot of demons and like spirits use kids because I think it's like the easiest to take over. and people will notice kids more.
Yeah, and I think kids are probably more susceptible of accepting something like that or allowing it to come into them because they don't know and their minds aren't as closed off. As we all grow up and we get older, we're told certain things work a certain way, and we think in our own minds that's just how it goes. But when we're younger, we don't have that restriction, and we're just kind of free to think and do whatever. And I think that's why it happens a lot with children, because they're just open, like mentally, you know?
Yeah, and you kind of like train yourself to not, because people are just like, that's not real.
Exactly. So we got a couple of hosts during your story. Fearless Jen, thank you so much for the host. Code Mars, thank you for hosting as well. Go Levion, thank you so much for the host. I appreciate you guys. And we're all doing well. Fearless Jen is playing Pocket Camp. We're all telling kind of spooky stories, and I'm slightly playing Animal Crossing as we do it, just as background noise. If you guys are in the Discord, Aria posted this picture of the story she was just mentioning about the woman in a black dress. Now, the picture that was taken, it looks like Adore Vincent. You scared me. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. I'm supposed to just call you Jen. But we're talking about spoopy stuff. You got to be fearless. So the picture that Aria posted, it looks like, if you're looking at the photo in Discord, it's posted in the general tab. It looks like a silhouette of somebody's chest in their chin, and you can kind of see where their nose is. And there's some frill coming off the top of their head, almost like a bonnet of some sort. Now, one thing that we need to try to think of, was there a coat hanger back there? Vince has spooked you, Turbo. He did. He's a dang jerk. Because I'm looking at the frilliness. I mean, because the person is very low. They have to be on their knees in this photo. It's a mirror, the black frame. Hi, my name is Jeff. How you doing? I'm Rachel. Remember me? I've been wanting to talk to you again. Oh. That was just one of my sister's dresses. Looks like a cowboy's type hat. But either way, that looks odd. And remember, too, though, when we look at these things, and I don't want to sit here and dismiss your story because I wasn't there, Arya, but when we look at things like this, our brain tries to figure out what we're looking at, and what is most common to us is a human face. So C. Cake says, I can see a woman's face. Where the green wall is, it's in there. Oh, I wasn't even looking at the right place. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to open up the link in another page. I see what you're saying. I mean, if I'm just associating what I'm seeing, I can see somebody almost like, looks like they're standing up. They actually look like a child. They look like a male child standing there in a black suit, a pale face, and dirty brown hair, is from what I can tell. But then again, what was reflective of that? What was on the other side? You're saying she's peeking. Oh, wait, are you saying, okay. Oh, I see that too. Okay. Looks like a Victorian woman to me. Okay, I see something different too. Are you looking at the person's left eye, their nose sticking out and their mouth is hanging open? Just the black part of it? Because if so, that does look kind of creepy. But then again, okay, that does look kind of creepy. So we have to keep in mind, though, this could very real be something that was captured on image. That was my mom. That's what my mom said, and there was nothing on the opposite end of it to reflect that. So then you start to go through your normal process of, is that, how can we explain it? So then we're like, is there a coat rack over there? Okay, no. Then you're saying, no, there's nothing on the opposite side of the mirror. Okay, so then that means that directly behind it, there's nothing there. So then you want to try to be like, let's start to do, okay, so if we can't explain what's going on here, to try to say that this wasn't some type of reflection or jumbleness, because the picture is slightly blurry, and our minds are going to try to put a face in there on a smudge. But we do, if we can nip all the other possible options, then it could possibly well be some sort of spirit. That's cool. That's very awesome. So, did you have another story, Code Mars, that you wanted to tell? Just joined. Hide your bananas. Nubican joined Discord.
Going back to the Ouija board.
Sure.
This kid, the kid that got us into it, was like, oh, let me show you my little buddy. First explaining it to us. And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, well, Z, the demon, hides in my ring, and I can talk to him telepathically. So I was just like, okay, show us something. So he, focused around a lighter, and, with it lit, and it, put his hands around it, cupped, and the flame, grew. I don't know if, that's just because of his hands. That, and, he was able to jump, perfectly jump a picnic table in steel-toed with no problem.
That's weird.
When he usually wouldn't be able to. And he's just like, oh, Z lets me. But they were called, one of the 11 D. And we only made contact with, But, because the P kept taking over, we didn't really get to talk to anyone very often. There was, 1 week where we could. Or they were getting along, and then P just was just like, yeah, alliance over. I was just trying to fuck with you.
Yeah, it's certainly odd that something, because it's okay, I was just mentioning for Arya's image, right? So what we try to do, we try to look at these things as clear-minded as we can, and we want to look at this situation and be like, okay, what is the possibility of this being explained and not being a spiritual entity, right? And we want to take those steps to ensure that, can it be explained any other way? So, cold spots, for example, because I know you mentioned cold spots. I actually have another story that had referenced cold spots as well. Cold spots. So, is it a drafty room? Can you explain it that you don't have a draft somewhere, or that something was piping out air or something like that? We just have to take every step that we can, and once you're like, nope, there's no drafts, I was standing there before, nothing happened, then it's okay, well then that's weird.
That's how it was, because it was in the middle of summer, it was 90, and then as soon as we start playing with it, it just drops down to 50. Just in that area. But that house that we did it in is very haunted, because even the owner is this house is haunted. My mom wakes me up every morning, Barbara, wake up, time to get ready. And she's 80, 90-year-old now. Her grandson was sitting on the steps at one point, because it's a huge mansion just broken up into different apartments now. And I guess when her grandson was just sitting on the steps one day, this guy in this business attire, like elegant suit, started like coming down the stairs right behind him. And he's just like, "Is Barbara here?" His grandmother, and he's just like, "No, she's with my mother." Like, okay. Walks out the door, gets in this black car, and then it just disappears.
Strange. There's so many spooky things, man, that I don't know. It's kind of like why I jokingly talk about conspiracy theories, because I just truly feel that there is hey, Just a Cow, I truly feel like we can't explain everything. And say, for example, and I've mentioned this to you in the past, Code Mars, like, do you think, okay, perfect timing, conspiracy theory. So, a lot of people like to say that aliens don't exist. Just spirits, or not spirits, just aliens, right? And they're like, no, we're the only life forms to have ever existed. Well, I would like to say that we don't have evidence to show that we are 100% able to say that we are the only person on the like life form on this planet. We haven't even explored our own galaxy, let alone explored our own ocean. So it is literally statistically impossible to say that we are the only species out there. There are aliens there, guys, whether you like it or not. So, hey, Just a Cow, conspiracy theory. Pokemon star Rachel was listening to some Christmas music. Baby It's Cold Outside is a great song. I do like that song. I like the rendition that they did for Elf also. Oh, I also want to thank, we did get a follow during your story. I didn't want to interrupt you. Miss Meowsy, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That is a great one. I love that. I watch it every year. The human rights are the only species out there. I agree. One of the classic Christmas specials ever. I always watch it when I decorate my tree, but I didn't know. There's cows. What else I miss? Hope their plants are in better places. Well, we haven't even explored the entire depths of our ocean, so how are we going to say that the aliens don't exist? And it doesn't have to be the typical alien life form that we all see on television. It could be like micro cells or whatever, or micro whatever they're called, like floating around in rocks. I mean, they found like what is it called? Like plankton skeletons or whatever in rocks from Mars, or was it the moon or something? So it's like we can't sit there and say so arrogantly that we're the only human species on the planet or in the galaxy. You know what I mean? I just think that's really silly. And tying this back into like the ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, these stories that I don't understand how people can say that spirits don't exist or that it doesn't happen at all, because they don't have the 100% proof to say that spirits and ghosts and stuff like that don't exist. So that's why I bring up conspiracy theories all the time, because I'm like, well, what if? What if this is possible? And to make you think about it, you know? Let's see here. All right, so my other day 3 now. We can see if we can do this. So day 3, let me pull up my audio. So day 3, what we ended up doing was the first night we got that I Will Kill You. The second night was kind of lackluster. I'm pretty sure somewhere on the day 2, and it might be in the audio that just seems to be not working tonight, I started asking the question to the kid. I said, if I can, and this very well could be in the third recording for all I know, but I was asking the kid, if you could say anything to your parents right now, you could, Vincent, every time, dude, Vincent, why you scare me? Turbo in a bit, we get to the fake stories. Can you come in? Yeah, we'll figure out what we're gonna do once we get through all the real stories. I still have my huge, scary story. I'm not even there yet, guys. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit. So excuse me. All right, so I think this was on the second night. It could be on the third night. But what happened was I'm like, hey, is there anything you would like me to take to your parents? If you had anything to say to your parents, speak it in this red light. Speak it in this red light, and because that's where the microphone was at the top of the recorder. I said, speak into this red light, and get out of here, you knuckleheads. So I said, if there's anything you'd like to say to your parents right now, say it in this microphone. What would you like to say to them? And I got I don't know. I got an I don't know from that question. So let's go into day 3 or night 3. We'll see if we have anything here. I know there's a couple things that we found this night.
Me and Josh are leaving tomorrow. We're never coming back. So we need you to talk now, or else you're going to lose your friends.
So, okay, so what's going on here? This is a very short one. It's only about a minute long. On the third night that we went there, I didn't feel like there was anything there. And what we ended up doing was we ended up doing solo sessions. I did a solo session. My friend Eric did a solo session. My brother Josh did a solo session. It was just the 3 of us this time. I guess that other encounter on the second day, there's another piece that's missing from that too, and I'll talk about it in a second. Here, I'm basically saying, because I'm going back to Pennsylvania from California here, and I'm saying, hey, I'm leaving. I've been connecting with you, and you've been talking with me the last couple days. Is there anything that you want to say to me before I go? So then this is what's taking place, and we'll see if we can hear what's going on here.
All right, that's it. We're going to go. All right, we're going.
All right, so did you guys catch that? Let me play it again. I'm going to say, all right, we're going to go. And then put your ears up. Let's hear.
All right, we're going.
Did you hear it? 2 words. What do you guys hear? Did it say no? My ears are very close to that word, Aria. I'm going to play it again.
All right, we're going.
So, from what I'm hearing, and to jump off this subject, do I have any favorite specials I like? And your Pokemon Star Rage was talking about Christmas specials down the holidays. I have a set of movies I like. Elf, which is a big one. Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey one, and the animated special. Definitely the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Jingle All the Way. Obviously the series like Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman, and the one where they do the Island of Misfit Toys, stuff like that. I don't watch the Chipmunk Christmas specials. I did when I was a child. Codemar says Die Hard. That is a Christmas movie, by the way. So let me play that audio one more time and see what you can hear them telling me. It's 2 words. When I say, all right, I'm going, there's 1 word and then a second and then there's another word. So here we go again.
All right, we're going.
What I hear is it says, don't go. I'll play it again. See if you guys can hear it now that I kind of told you what I hear.
All right, we're going.
I'm just letting it run because we don't hear anything else. This is what it sounds like me taking steps off the bridge. So, from what I hear, when I was telling this guy that apparently this spirit, after I've connected with him over a period of a few days, I get a don't go when I tell him I'm going to leave and I'm not coming back. And to be honest with you, I haven't gone back to that bridge. Not because I'm afraid of it. I just haven't had the time to go back when I'm visiting California. So on the second day, let me turn this down a little bit. Turn this desktop audio down a little bit. So on the second day, some of the audio that I missed, it could be in the other one. I just don't want to. Carla says, "Yep, I hear. Don't go." I don't want to, because I didn't bookmark any particular time frames as to where these sound bites are, unfortunately. So I don't want to waste too much of your time with dead air. But on the second day, my friend TacoRemix was there with me the night where I saw that disheveled mess on the bridge. His girlfriend at the time was actually studying digital audio equipment. And when I was giving her this digital audio equipment, especially after the I Will Kill You, she heavily researched it. And that's why there's a couple days between the first day and the second day. She said that it was completely not my voice or anyone else's voice on that bridge. Eric and Edgar didn't even speak a word on that bridge that was recorded. It was only me, and she said it clearly 100% was not my voice. So we actually had her there for the third night. What happens is Mark ends up walking off the bridge, and as he comes back, my brother's standing next to me, and I say that is Eric coming up on the bridge, when it was really my friend Mark, TacoRemix. I accidentally said Eric's name. What is the boo for? What is the boo for? So, I guess you're booing that I messed up his name. So when Mark is walking back up the bridge, my brother's standing right next to me. Again, I have it clutched to my chest. He says, Mark. So he corrects me and says, no, that's Mark's name. But he just says, Mark. And then I say, Mark, to repeat him. And then we get a, who's that? We get a, who's that? In response. Because it was the first time that his girlfriend Lisa was walking up on the bridge. Everyone else at that point had already been on the bridge. So the who's that was something that we caught on the second day. We also caught the I don't know on the second day when I said, if I could take this tape to your parents, is there anything you'd say to them? I got a I don't know. So that is the one ghost story that I have. You shouldn't have come here. I will kill you. Unfortunately, I couldn't play for you the who's that, and I couldn't play for you the I don't know. But then I also played for you the don't go on the final night that I did it. So does anyone else have any real stories before I get into my really big ghost story? No, says Nubikin. Good morning, going to be making a Zelda and AC ornaments. We're talking about a lot of Christmas stuff in the chat too, and then we're talking about spooky ghosts. Pokemon Star Rachel. The rest of my ornaments are Mickey Mouse, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit, and Nightmare Before Christmas. BRB going for P. So I've already set up my Christmas tree. So in my Christmas tree, it consists of tons. Maybe I should do like a little video. I wish I can post little short videos on Discord, but I really can't. It's got to be like 10 seconds or less than that, like 5 seconds or something. But all of our Christmas tree is it's just all kinds of Disney stuff, from Disney princess figures to like stormtroopers to pirates to then we've got like Santa Claus like in a bathing outfit sitting in an inner tube because we're in Florida. You know, then we got a lighthouse from where we went to to Key West, and we had a bunch of hodgepodge of stuff. And then we put glittered like Christmas balls around the tree to like fill in the gaps. We got tons of stuff like Scar and Goofy and Donald and Mickey and Jiminy the Cricket and Winnie the Pooh sitting in a big old honey pot, and Scar from Lion King, and all kinds of cool stuff. I wish I can show you. Maybe I'll have to try to find a way to show you guys our tree one night. Maybe I'll take pictures and stuff and just post the pictures in Discord. So let's go into my big story here, because I'll try not to make it super long, but there is a lot of information here, and unfortunately, the audio that I have of this ghost story, is about an hour and 8 minutes long. So obviously I'm not going to play the entire audio for you. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to find significant moments where the audio was extremely clear that there was something else there. I will fill in the gaps with other things that are said and other conversations. Vincent, and my audio's so loud. Oh my God, you just waited for that, noob. Okay, so the story behind this ghost story is my wife and I we decided at this point in our lives that we were going to move from Pennsylvania to Florida. And we were in Pennsylvania to a point where we can go to Gettysburg, which is where some of the bloodiest battles ever happened in the United States on our own soil, where we had a civil war. So there's a lot of historical stuff there. So we decided that we're going to do a bunch of historical stuff before we leave. And we decided to get in touch with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. And we were going to go ahead and do a, what do you want to call it? A ghost hunt with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society at a location of their choosing. They had a handful of locations that they had a lot of activity in. They would provide us equipment, and we would use whatever equipment that they had. And then if we caught anything, they would give us back the data. So we end up meeting up to the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. Aria, this is for Pennsylvania Civil War area in Gettysburg. We got with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society, my wife and I, before we left Pennsylvania, just to catch you up real fast. There was only me and my wife, and there was another older couple from Tennessee. Now, I don't remember the wife's name. I don't know, Killer Cupcake, if you remember the wife's name. The husband's name was Bill. So, it was me and my wife, and Bill and his wife, and one person from the Gettysburg Paranormal Society ended up taking us to a place called the Hoffman Mansion. Now, the Hoffman Mansion's history was that this home was not necessarily built on any type of battleground for the Civil War, but was actually used as a makeshift hospital, as well as in the basement had holding cells to barter trade for Yankee soldiers when they had Confederate soldiers, because they continued to assist the Confederate soldiers so that they wouldn't die, but then they would also barter trade for the Yankee soldiers. So they just wouldn't let the Confederate soldiers die there. So apparently in the early 90s, they tried to make this house a bed and breakfast. I'm sorry, I'm missing a timeline here. So it was a makeshift hospital. Eventually, Sarah Hoffman moved in to this home. Sarah Hoffman was engaged to somebody in the war, the Civil War. And apparently what had happened was this fiance of hers ended up being called back out to war. And because they were never married, the armies never disclosed any information of her fiance to her, whether he died in war or ran off. She was stricken with guilt, and she ended up hanging herself in the attic. Eventually, in the early 90s, they tried to turn this house into a bed and breakfast. To be unsuccessful with turning this house into a bed and breakfast, there were too many spirits that literally scared away any type of contractors that started doing things within the home. So, as we approach this house, we drive up in two different vehicles, actually three, because the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy had one. We approach the house. It's in the middle of the night. If you guys ever go to a neighborhood in which they're building new houses, like in a development, there's a fat wire. It's like about this big, right? That sticks out of the ground. And it's normally capped with a pipe, but beyond that pipe is this big electrical wire. They end up tying that into the grid to give the house electricity. So what they have is this huge electrical wire sticking out of the ground where it's cut off, showing the fact that this house does not have any electricity. So when we go into the home, I don't feel pressure, by the way, at least not that I can recall at this point. We end up getting a walking tour of the house. And the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy asked if we wanted to start EVP recording when we were being shown the house. I told him, no, it's no big deal. We'll do it in a little bit later. And I really should have listened to him, but whatever. So the house layout is a big, room when you walk in from the house, right? Stairs go up the back of the house. There's a side door here. You go in here, there's a little nook to the side, there's a kitchen further down, and then there's stairs that go down to the basement. You can see like 90s furniture, like a fridge and stuff like that, and microwaves that were installed, but he opened up the doors and it still had foam and like plastic on them because they weren't used at all. They kind of like put them in, but then got scared off, the contractors. So we go into the basement, and in the basement they had this weird sloped wall, kind of looked kind of creepy. And then in the very back, they had 2 cells made back there, mostly of concrete, and one wall with bars where they would put the Confederate soldiers, as he was telling us that they would barter for Yankee soldiers. So we ended up going back upstairs to the main floor, and then we walked around and we went up the stairs again to the second floor. So the way that the second floor works, right? We come up the stairs here. There's 2 long hallways here. There's a bedroom and a bedroom, right? And there's also a hallway in front of those 2 bedrooms that connect to a bathroom. And then back here is a room that's just as big as a living room on the floor, on the first floor. So as we walk up the stairs, we go into the 2 bedrooms on the back end, right? So there's a door that connected the 2 of them. As we're in the second bedroom up there, I forgot to tell you, the couple that was with us, the elderly couple from Tennessee, they said they are very in tune with spirits. They've used equipment before. Apparently they had a young child in their home that was more of a, what is it called? It starts with an M, like a misfit. I'm forgetting the word at the moment, but he just liked to play around and mess with things. He was never really anything bad. He just liked to fool around, but they communicated with this child spirit all the time in their home in Tennessee. This woman was clairvoyant. We're walking up in the room, and she stops us, and she goes, "Do you guys hear like a moaning or a moan?" And we all freeze, and we're listening for like a good 30 seconds. We don't hear anything. And I'm like, I don't hear anything. This is why I should have recorded it. Mischievous. Thank you, Arya. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm like, I don't hear anything. So we're like, okay, let's continue on. So then we leave that room. We look to the right of leaving that room, which is the remade bathroom. And then the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy was like, hey, the last time we took a group of people here, they swore they saw the reflection of Sarah Hoffman in the mirror. And I was like, oh. And then instantly when he told me that story, I was like, I want to connect with Sarah Hoffman. Like, I want to meet Sarah Hoffman tonight. Like, for some reason, I was just like, Sarah Hoffman, right? So then we look in there and we go down the hallway now over this direction. And there's a ladder that, not a ladder, but like another set of stairs that goes up. Kind of like adjacent to the one that went to you would go up here to go to the second floor. There was another one that went to the attic. In the attic, as you walk up the stairs, and if you immediately turn around, there was another almost man-made stairs up all the way to the ceiling. It was weird. It was connected all the way from the attic floor. Yes, thank you for the words there. So on the attic floor, the steps started going up, and they went all the way to the attic ceiling, which was odd. But from the top of those steps, there was a gap that was about 2 stories long all the way down to the other side where the stairs would start to go to the attic, because you would go up 2 flights of stairs, essentially. And that apparently is where she hung herself, because it had the greatest distance, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, I need to come into the attic. And then we ended up going to the back room. That's fine. So we went back into the home area, and we ended up picking up a bunch of different equipment. What I ended up grabbing was a net light, which shoots a bunch of light balls, and you can kind of see movement as something comes by. I also had my digital recorder, and I had Bill with me, and I ended up having a camera that I had a pack of batteries that I did not open. I specifically showed him. I said, guys, these are batteries that aren't open from this pack. Let's open it up in front of everybody so everybody sees. We'll put it into a camera, and we'll see how quickly these batteries get depleted, because when spirits start to make themselves known, they start to drain energy from things around them, which includes heat, which is why you get cold spots, also including like camera batteries and things like that. So we're going to see where this audio starts off. We're going to start playing this audio here.
Whenever we decide to sit down, we'll put that at a door when we do the EVP session, okay?
It's locked, and so keep an eye on it.
And we just want to have as many things going as the team can go, right?
So that southern guy speaking there, that is Bill.
You guys can take 2 things with you or 1 thing with you, and if it's not
And the
working,
EVP is going currently?
Yeah, the
Man,
EVP
I
is
forgot what
locked
that thing
before.
does.
Okay.
I don't know.
We try to keep it
So I
on
push the button?
so we don't miss something.
True.
So this is us obviously trying to get our bearings with the equipment. So what I end up doing, and I'm going to see how far I can go here and try to locate it. Again, this is an hour and 8 minutes of audio that we recorded in this house. I caught 28 different sounds and speech in this. There are some significant ones that I want to make sure I want to play for you guys tonight. I had contact with a spirit, and I will play the audio for that as well. But I'm going to try to dig. Unfortunately, I don't have little bookmarks for everything here. But I caught audio from inside the bathroom, which is the first place that I went. Let's see if I can find it.
Go on where?
Right in here.
Well, I got a 70.5.
Okay, so then what you're hearing me saying that I had a 70.5. So what I have is I have a net light, I have the digital recorder, and I had an electric thermometer. So what I was doing going through the entire house is I was checking the temperature of the entire house. The entire house was around 75 to 76 degrees throughout. No windows were open, no doors were open. Nobody really opened up any doors except for one time when I was present. But there were no drafts anywhere. It was a consistent 75, 76 degrees. So that's what you just heard. So we're going to continue
In
on.
the bathroom.
So I mentioned I wanted to go to the bathroom. Let's see here.
Emery. I got a general temperature of 70.5, 7.1 in the hallway. Well, I got a 70.5 into the bathroom. Let's set the EVP down right here.
So that's me setting the EVP down, the digital recorder.
I'll just take a picture of this and see what happens.
So then Bill starts to say right here, I'm going to start taking a picture of this. So maybe you'll hear the picture take here.
Right ahead. To help me see you better if you walk through it.
So I'm basically describing the net light. I'm saying if you walk through the light, I can see a little bit better.
Fully charged when we left. So
Oh, here we go.
That's one of those.
So what Bill's about to start saying is that the camera that he was using ended up losing all of its charge after he just turned it on and started to use it in the bathroom, which is a good sign of seeing a spirit take physical form.
What's the shutdown? Oh, you know what? The battery's gone.
The battery's already gone?
Yeah, he was saying it was fully charged when we left, so that's one of those things, you know.
Okay, did you hear that? So, as me and Bill are establishing that the camera is dying, that it's depleting its energy, you start to hear a car drive by. So you start to hear this. Within that, you hear a name being called. Here's goosebumps. I'm not lying to you. So see if you guys can hear it. You guys are something else. That's me being clean. Let's go back to the audio.
Hello, Sarah?
Okay, wait.
I'm in a white box downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's set the EVP down.
Things, you know.
Okay. So here is where you should add a minion laugh to the lineup. There's a couple things I want to add. So, okay. So a car's about to drive by. Listen deeply within the car driving by. You're going to hear a name. I want to see, before I tell you guys the name, I want to hear what you guys think. How you doing, Fluffy Flippin' Fox? I want to hear what you guys think the name is, because I don't want to put the thought in your head. I want you to figure it out for yourself. So here we go. Did you hear that? We're going to go back a couple seconds here.
It was fully charged when we left, so that's one of those things, you know.
Did you hear that? I got a long story to go, Gold Young, but if you're up at the end of it, then we'll try to stop on by. Max says Nubikin. Cake says Michael. Arya says Michael. Let's go ahead and play it again.
Things, you know.
There's obviously 2 syllables there. What I hear is Michael. Now, unfortunately, I did not get the name of the spouse or the former fiance. I later learned that at this time, my wife and I are currently engaged. I didn't realize that there was a connection that was being made. I'm getting massive goosebumps because I didn't realize this until a later time. There is a huge link between what happens to me within this night because I am a male engaged to my wife at the time. And Sarah Hoffman ended up killing herself because her fiance was gone. I'm getting massive goosebumps. I wish I could zoom in on this. So yes, from what I hear, guys, I do hear Michael. I'm going to play it one more time. I'm sitting there next to the tub. Bill's saying the energy of his camera is dying, and he just started it, and it was fully charged until we got into the bathroom, which apparently we were told before that this is where the last group that did a session at the Hoffman Mansion saw Sarah Hoffman. So let's listen again.
Things, you know.
And I don't hear it. I'll continue on.
Hello, Sarah.
See?
My name's Justin,
And this is Bill.
and I have my friend Bill here.
So we're continuing on with an EVP session, but we did not hear the name Michael being called. Again, I don't know. Because this home used to be a makeshift hospital, could have very well been a doctor or a patient. I don't know. But all I do know is that for some random reason, I got the name Michael that was picked up. So what happens, I'm not going to play the entire audio here, but what happens is Bill ends up going downstairs. And when Bill goes downstairs to check out what's going on with the camera, I stay up in the bathroom for a little bit longer. I don't really get anything, and I hear a commotion going on downstairs. So let me see if I can find the audio when I go back downstairs.
You know this one.
Trying to get her to respond via Knox, and I don't get anything. I was told that she's shy. So there's
Temperature gauges are still the same.
so the temperature is still the
I'm going
same.
into a different room here.
So I'm going into a different room.
And I do believe
So then now I come into the main area again on the first floor. What is happening now is the wife of Bill is having a conversation with a Confederate soldier. What she is using at this point in time is she's using dowel rods. Now what these dowel rods are, it's thin copper wire used in both hands. Apparently sometimes due to energy, they sometimes then cross. People used to use them to find water because of the iron in the water and things like that. Which eventually leads her outside because the spirit ends up telling her to not go outside. And she said, what's going on outside? Obviously answering simple questions or asking simple questions to try to get simple answers. She ends up going outside. I'm in the living room by myself. I stay there. So let me see if I can find that audio.
Is it okay that we go outside to communicate with you?
See, so he just asked, is it okay if we can go outside to communicate with you? And I think that was actually the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy. By the way, I'm sorry, Fluffy Flippin' Fox, as I came late to the story. Long story short, my wife and I, before we left Pennsylvania, going to Florida, we were engaged at the time. We got in touch with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. We ended up getting in touch with another older couple from Tennessee that is very sensitive to spirits. And we did a ghost hunt, essentially, with their equipment. So yes, so let's continue on. So they reference, is it okay to go outside?
I was TVs. No, they're not supposed to go outside.
You don't want us to go outside, Doctor?
Oh, it's a doctor. I'm sorry, it was a doctor.
Should we
be cautious? Once for yes, twice for no.
Okay, so now what we're using is this thing called, it's nicknamed the Ghost Meter Pro. What it really does is it reads electromagnetic frequencies within 10 meters of it. So when you hear static electricity, it's because there's no electromagnetic forces within 10 meters of it. When something gets close, like if you were to take the Ghost Meter Pro and you were able to turn it on, you hear white noise, and then you moved it to your computer, you moved it to a microwave, it'll then go quiet. Within that 10-meter radius, when it gets close to some energy, it's going to go quiet. So what we were using this device for is to have the spirit manipulate it into a blip for yes and 2 blips for no, or 1 for no and 2 for yes, however it was. So what you're going to hear in a second, I'm going to rewind just a little bit. You're going to hear the wife of Bill asking the doctor about going outside, and you're going to hear this Ghost Meter Pro going off. It's going to hear like white noise. So let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be cautious.
Take a flash, guys.
Is there anybody?
The doctor?
All right, I backed up a little bit. Here we go.
Should we be cautious? Once for yes, twice for no.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be cautious.
So it went
Take
once.
a flash, guys.
I warned them
Is there
when I took a
anybody that's
picture
going to
flash.
harm us out there?
Once for yes, twice for no. No.
Then why should we be afraid, Doctor?
Oh, that's stupid, because he's not going to be able to answer that as a yes or no question, so I was dumb. I guess I was trying to get it for digital recording purposes, but whatever.
Are there soldiers outside?
Yes.
Are they still fighting?
So there was a very distant that came off that went off as 1 blip when I said, are there still soldiers outside?
Are there soldiers outside?
And then it stops. It doesn't do it again.
Are they still fighting?
And again. There we go. There's a car driving by.
150 years ago, and they're still fighting. It's a pretty good battle.
See, now he walked away. It's all white noise. So then they start going outside.
Actually hear it. Can you tell me your name, Doctor?
So by the way, we're 27 minutes into this audio recording, just so you guys are aware.
Can you tell me what year it is?
So they're outside on the porch. This is the one time that they had a door open. So the door hadn't been opened the entire rest of the night. We're going to try to jump a little bit.
Familiar to you? Do you know the woman who stepped outside? Does she look familiar to you?
Is this a similar technique to the one that the Fox sisters originally used in 1848? It is. It's probably one of the best techniques. I'm trying to think what the real name of this is. Let me look it up real quick. It's also known as a K2 meter or a electromagnetic frequency sensor, also nicknamed the Ghost Meter Pro. You can buy these online for good ones, like $60. Lower end, $30. I'm gonna post a link in chat. This is the way that it looked. That was what I was using. It looked a little different. It was mostly yellow though. But that, so you guys can understand at least the shape of what the Ghost Meter Pro looks like. So let's go on to the audio. All right, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So that's the door. I mean, it's pretty loud. So I mean, if we heard any other creaking coming from the front door, it's going to mimic that sound. I don't ever pick up that sound. So that's the rest of the crew coming back in. I was the only one in the house at this point. I briefly studied spiritualism and its origins. So it's all so interesting. It really is. Let's continue.
Sarah, can you...
Okay, so this is what happens. We start trying to connect with Sarah Hoffman, and then this was like some sort of goal that I had for some reason, was to connect with Sarah Hoffman during this thing. So because Bill's wife is doing such a good job, we let her go, and you'll hear some of the conversation right here.
It's up to you.
Well, these are just crazy. I got getting in here of these. I'm just walking around
Try
the house.
standing-
It's a new house.
Try standing somewhere else.
They work awesome.
Oh, so there's a moment here in which Bill's wife, after coming back inside, she starts getting a heat flash. Now, she was elderly, so you can say, okay, well, possibly menopause, right? So eventually she starts getting really hot. I start checking the temperature around her with the digital recorder that I had, the temperature thing that shot a laser and would check temperature. It was rising pretty quick around her physical body. Later on in the night, very shortly after this, actually, after Sarah Hoffman's situation, I start getting really flush. I don't think too much about that. She put her hand on me. She was like, oh yeah, you're getting warm. We may come across that audio too. It could have just been because I was mentally like, oh, you're feeling hot. Maybe I'm feeling hot too. So we kind of discount that because it may not be proven as something legit, but it did happen. So let's go on.
Yes, stand by you. Want to stand over here? Okay.
You want a chair? You guys want to take a seat? You can sit on the carpet. Might not be the cleanest carpet in the world.
Well, these are good. You want to ask questions?
I've been asking questions while you guys were outside.
Sarah, can you come downstairs?
I did it every night. Last every night I did here. We had a laptop set up in the kitchen area in the bar, that Long Island bar there that you walk into. We seen something go in front of it. I'm not too sure what it was, but it was big enough, and there was something in front of it that.
So the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy is telling us that he had experienced some sort of something when they were calling for Sarah downstairs in the kitchen. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit more.
We're here. My daughter's name is Sarah. Can
Yes.
you come down and talk to us?
Remember, so it's 1 blip for yes, 2 for no. So keep that in your mind. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's go.
We're so sorry that you felt so bad, and that you were so sad. Please, come downstairs.
Yes. So she left.
Is that you, Sarah? And you?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I had it wrong. When the white noise is present, that means that there is an energy frequency. When it's dead, obviously there's no energy frequency. I had it reversed when I explained it to you. So hearing this now as a constant noise, that means that Sarah, supposedly Sarah, is close. Within 10 meters of the device.
Can you make the light go off? So 1 for yes, if it's
You guys, I swear, we're gonna disable all sound effects for the rest of the stream. It's just slowing us down. I jump every time. All right, so let's go back to it.
or twice if it isn't. Okay, people, it is burning up next to me again.
Where are you
My
at?
face is on fire again.
Hold
Let's put it on her because she's going to
I'm
be...
trying to go over her shoulder.
See, so this is where I'm talking about I'm trying to go over her shoulder because she's feeling hot.
Right down there in my area.
Nothing out of the ordinary. I'm saying
66 degrees and 65.
65 all around you.
It
65.
was sure hotter a minute ago. Well, it wasn't.
It was hopping up to 80 earlier around you.
Yeah.
So she was at like 80 and now she's at 60, like her Bill's wife, her temperature.
Right now,
All right, I jumped a
once
little
for
forward.
yes, twice for no. Oh, we're so glad.
Sarah just came back. And then she walked away again.
Thank you.
That machine's been actually working a lot better than last time. Last night it didn't work at all. It was just, I maybe talked to 2 people with that device for hours.
Oh, yeah.
Just review around it.
Please stand with us. Wonderful. Are you here, Sarah? Once for yes, twice for no.
We don't hear anything.
Thank you. Can you come and stand by me? I know that there are other people here, but they're not going to hurt you. You know, this is your home.
Whoa, did you just hear that? Hold on, let me rewind this a second. I just heard something that I don't think I've heard before. Where was it?
Please stand with us. Please try to find you. Do you think it's... Can you come and stand by me?
So when she says, come and stand by me, there's this weird, almost kind of music that plays. See if you can hear it. I have everything, the desktop audio, as loud as I can. It almost sounds like a distortion of the audio equipment. I'm going to play it again, so let's see if we can hear it.
I know that there are other people here, but they're not going to hurt you.
Right here.
You know, this is your home.
Did you hear that? It kind of goes... brrrr. I heard that, so let me rewind it a little bit. When she goes, this is your home, then almost like it's a muffled noise. It goes... brrrr, like a weird buzzing. Listen.
This is your home.
Right there. Right before she says something. Okay,
Do you
interesting.
think it's funny that people come in and walk around in your home and try to find you? Do you think it's funny? You do? It is funny.
Well, Sarah's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
that's great.
Sarah, thanks for hanging around. Oh, you didn't make my sense of humor, did you?
Do you ever, Sarah, do you ever try to?
So then we kind of push her away. So then there's something else shortly after this, I think.
You don't have to be afraid.
He's got a sense of humor,
He
too.
has a sense of humor.
That one told me more about it.
I've forgotten all about that.
Real or is it fake? Real or is it fake? No, any
Soldier,
just in their dreams, maybe.
yes. Did you die here? Once for yes, twice for no. No.
So apparently this is some soldier.
Wonderful. We're so
Yeah, so
glad.
the doctor
Were you in the cellar downstairs?
saved it.
Once for yes, twice for no.
Not wonderful. Or
So he was in the cellar, this Confederate soldier.
sorry. It sounded wonderful when you...
By the way, when I'm showing you guys this and it's audio evidence, you can always be like, well, the Gettysburg Paranormal Society dude could be manipulating something. So we have to keep that in the back of our mind. I thought of that as well while I was there. I was watching his hands constantly just to make sure he wasn't pressing any buttons or putting his hands in his pockets or anything like that. So we can kind of nip that possible forgery in the bud.
You made it through there. I think you probably wish you were dead.
If you made it through the civil...
No?
No?
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
If you made it through the Civil War, why are you here?
Maybe.
Does this mean a lot to you? Yes or no? Once for yes, twice for no. Were you here in this house and they fixed you?
It felt like a hot flash.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
how it felt. And it felt like almost I
Exactly.
immediately started sweating.
And everybody's getting hot in here besides me. You know.
Yeah, I'm doing
Yeah,
fine.
same thing. But I quit that a long time ago, so it's
Yeah.
So I was getting a flash here too, and we joked about it a little bit. Let's see, ghost stuff. No, I used to have a document in which I wrote down all of this stuff, but it was older computers. I don't have it anymore. I actually went through and timestamped everything. So let's continue.
Yeah, I'm normally just fine, but I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel comfortable in here, I think.
Yeah, me too.
All right, what do we got, Mike?
I got my flashlight.
Mine doesn't make it noisy. So good.
There's one significant sound I want to make sure I show you guys.
Now I have another device in my hand. It's got a red light as well. If you speak into it, that means we can hear you. You've seen this before?
I was amateur at this time, guys, so don't judge.
Sometimes we can't hear you directly if you don't show yourself. So you agree? Have you shown yourself to people around here? No, I have another device.
Where am I at?
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah, so this is me asking questions.
No.
Maybe it's a doctor or a soldier.
Doctor, is that you? One for you.
Turbo, I thought I heard some footsteps earlier. Oh, I got footsteps, baby. I got some footsteps later.
Yes, twice for no.
So the way that this house has entirely all carpet, obviously except for the basement and except for the kitchen. Just so we keep that in the back of our mind when I show you another audio clip towards the end of this thing here.
No. So I'm guessing that's not a doctor then.
You had one for yes, twice for no, right?
So you're saying that yes, you are the doctor then, my mistake.
I guess that's what they were doing, is one for yes and two for
Yeah.
no.
Because we were trying to figure out this room. So we haven't figured it out yet, is what you're saying. Show yourself, it's alright.
I'm trying to remember where
Was that
I'm
a
at.
yes? I couldn't tell.
I'm trying to remember where I'm at this point in the audio.
Once for yes, twice for no. So you're okay with us being here?
Okay, so this is me and Bill. Me and Bill ended up going in the attic, and we're actually supposedly talking to Sarah at this point. So this is my huge experience. So we're gonna let this play out. Yeah, I can help you with OBS later. Good, Mars.
Now, one thing that me and my friend would love to see is if you can show yourself,
So adamant. So
or if
pushy.
not, if you can speak into this red light that I have in my hand. Yes, will you do that for us? Just tell us your name. Okay, so you did it already. Thank you so much. So you understand. Are you happy now, Sarah?
She's happy.
That's good. That's really good. Now please understand, we mean you no harm. We're just trying to get some answers.
So she knows we're not a threat. That was a yes.
Do you?
She left.
It's okay, Sarah, you can come back. It's just going haywire.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah.
Do you live here, Sarah, or do you visit? Do you live here? That would be one for yes, two for no.
So you don't live up here?
Do you visit the house and just come in different times?
So
Well,
it
I
was
was
a yes.
wondering, so this says yes to that.
Sarah, do you really venture anywhere else besides the attic, or do you just stay up in the attic?
Obviously, I'm not asking questions that are yes or no questions. I'm kind of asking additional questions to see if I can get actual audio answers other than just blips on the Ghost Meter Pro. So we're gonna skip forward a very slight amount.
Now, Sarah, I want to ask you another question. Can you come back over?
This thing is so crazy.
Thank you. Do you see any of the doctor or any of the inmates or Confederate soldiers or any of the Yankees downstairs? Can you see them?
I'm back, Turbo.
Once for yes, twice for no.
Weird Fate heals. We were actually...
We got a yes, so you do see them.
We are on hardwood in the attic, to correct my own statement.
Thank you. So you okay with them living in your home as well?
She does
so
not.
You don't like them being here?
She does not like the other spirits being in this house.
Have they done anything wrong to you? Have they scared you?
She's frightened. Maybe frightened by having that many people in it.
Yeah.
Ari's like, it's nearly 3 a.m. and I hear bangs on my flat. Tracy Nation! Sorry that was so loud, guys. Thank you so much for the follow. Tracy Nation, just so you know, we don't do this all the time. It's kind of just a community thing right now. We were all talking about ghost stories a little bit earlier, but we do play video games. So thank you so much for following. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. We will be playing video games also. Okay, so back to the audio here. So she's a nice spirit. Yes. So the spirit, I thought you set up my gifts. It is. It's in rotation. They're all randomized though. I'm not lying. I'll show you. Give me a second. Keep in mind, Go Leafeon, I've got 6 different... I got 6 different ones, so they're just all randomized rotation, so whenever it gets picked up. Okay. Back to the audio.
Sarah, please come back. We just have a few more questions and we'll leave you alone. We promise.
I've been watching for a while. I just realized I wasn't following. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. All right, so she finally... I jumped a little bit.
Once for yes, twice for no.
We're at 57 minutes, by the way. Turbo just followed himself. It's because I just tested the particular GIF, just to show you that I have it up there.
So we do scare you.
I asked her if we scare her as well as a secondary follow-up to the other people in the house scaring her. So she said yes. People like us, we do scare her.
Do you want us to leave the attic? Was that it?
Hold on a second. I think I'm hearing something in the background. Hold on. Like in the very background. Listen very... Killer Cupcake, thank you so much for the host. I'm sorry that these GIF noises are very loud to you guys. I apologize. There's something in the background. I want to listen to it again. It's something again that I haven't heard before.
Do you want us to leave the attic?
You hear that? Wow. Wow. Yep, faint wails. Let's go back a little bit. 712. We're going to go back. 5707. Okay, let's try this again.
Do you want us to leave the attic? Was that a yes? You have to make that a little bit more clear for us. If you want us to leave the attic, we'll leave the attic. Okay.
It does sound like a cat.
Okay, we'll leave, Sarah.
All right, so this is the biggest moment that I experienced in this night. The way that it happened is that we're walking down a very narrow stairwell leaving the attic. Bill is in front of me. The way that when you walk through the threshold of the attic when you're leaving the attic, you come against a wall that you would go left and right. You would go to right, and there's the bathroom to the left. You go across, and you go back down the stairs. Again, I ran the temperature and through the entire house, especially when I was in the bathroom. I did the upstairs area. No drastic changes in the temperature. I'm going to hit the audio again.
That's pretty good.
Thank you for your time. We'll go downstairs.
By the way, I'm still hearing that wailing, by the way, in the background. So that's us walking down the stairs on the wooden floors.
I'm feeling cold air rushing through me.
You hear what I just said there? I said, I feel cold air rushing through me. I have the greatest of goosebumps at this moment. I feel air rushing through me. I, at this point, forgot I was actually recording the audio. Let me go back up a little bit. Wait, hold on.
If you want us to leave the attic, we'll leave the attic.
So she says yes. I'm going to leave the attic. Here we go.
That was pretty good.
Thank you for your time. We'll go downstairs.
I'm going to let the entire thing play this time and not interrupt it.
I'm feeling cold air rushing through me. Do you feel any wind?
You know, I did.
I'm feeling wind right here. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Sarah, was that you just walked right past me?
You know
Do
what?
feel
No,
that wind?
there is a breeze there.
Anyone outside? So that was you that just passed right through me, was it? Okay. Thank you, but we're going to leave, okay? We'll go into another room. Thank you for your time, Sarah.
So, in this moment, Bill doesn't realize it. I'm walking down the steps directly behind him, like 2 steps behind this guy. He starts talking about something else that's nonsensical because we're leaving the room, we're leaving the scenario, right? And I feel this. The best way I can describe it is, have you guys ever stepped in front of an air conditioner and you can feel the air whipping around your arms and kind of catching your arm hairs, right? And kind of you feel the blow of the wind. I felt that, but then I also felt like the same feeling but within my chest. And it kind of felt like strand-like, as if sometimes when you're walking past something, you feel like you're, like if somebody with long hair, like you got a long hair stuck on your arm, or like, and you're kind of pulling through it, or if your arm kind of catches on like a lone spider web that you didn't see, and it kind of just, you feel it pulling up against your skin very, very lightly. It felt like that through my chest. And I instantly, for one, I kind of freaked out, as you can tell. I was like, okay, thanks, bye. But I instantly had this thought of an image of Sarah Hoffman in my head. I don't know if this image is Sarah Hoffman. I tried to do as much research as I could after this scenario because it was so intense. It was, okay, so intense is probably not the greatest word to use. I don't think it was intense. It was jarring, I think is a good word to use. So this is what I thought in my head. I tried to describe what I thought Sarah looked like to my wife after this scenario happened. Remember, my wife is downstairs right now with Bill's wife in the Gettysburg Paranormal Society guy. I think his name was Jeff or something. But like, it was just me and Bill up there. So this is, I found this photo online, and I really, truly think this is what she looked like. I described the way that she looked to my wife before I even found this photograph. Now, again, I don't know if this is Sarah Hoffman, to be completely honest with you, but I did tell her that her hair was in a bonnet. I did tell her that she was a lighter complexion, kind of described these eyes as well. It just, I just felt it. It was the weirdest thing. So I'll take that away because it's kind of spoopy. But let's continue on with the audio. There's another big piece of audio evidence that I really want to show you guys.
I don't know where we ought to go next.
Not sure.
Oh, sure have.
So then now we're getting the white noise because we walked away from Sarah in the attic. So we're going to join everyone back else downstairs.
I had a rush of wind that went right through me.
Oh, good.
And it gave me, I still have the goosebumps right now. We actually asked Sarah if she was upstairs. We got a few answers from her.
Sorry that I left this Ghost Meter Pro directly next to the digital recorder. It was very bad for me to do it.
We asked her if we scared her from being up there, and she said yes. We asked her if she wanted us to leave, and then she said yes. So we told her we would leave the attic. We started walking downstairs. In a rush, it felt like somebody opened up a window and a breeze went right by me. He didn't feel any of it. He felt it was colder afterwards. He didn't feel the breeze. It like rushed up as if...
So then that's what Bill did too. He was said like, yeah, it feels cold. He acknowledged that it was cold when he stuck his arms back through the threshold of the attic. So as I walked through the threshold of the attic, Bill didn't feel it when he first walked through it. But then all of a sudden, when I got to that point, I felt this huge rush of that cold air, that frigid air that went through me. And then when I recalled it, obviously in the audio, Bill put his hands out and he acknowledged that, yes, it was cold there. And he just walked through that part and it was not cold enough for him to notice. Because I said, Bill, did you feel that rush of wind? And he said, no, I didn't feel it. And then he turns around and he's like, oh, yeah, there's a breeze here. It's cold here. So.
As if it went right by me. I put the flashlight right on my arm and I had thick goosebumps. I actually still have a little bit now. The attic.
So I guess I can announce it here. So obviously after I ran into this ghostly scenario, I was very adamant about getting this data because the data wasn't going directly home with me. It was going with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. And then they, after 30 days after investigating it, they were going to bring it back to me so I can have it. I constantly called the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. I was terrified that they were going to lose this data because if I told this story to anybody else without evidence, that they're probably going to think that I'm lying. So I wanted to have as much evidence in my corner to tell everybody else that I told this story to, like you guys, for example, that I'm not lying, that I really experienced this. And I had the audio of me doing it while it happened. So I was speaking to a female that worked with the Gettysburg Paranormal Society, and I was telling her the scenario. And she was like, oh, you said you're engaged? Well, that's funny that Sarah made a connection with you because she was also engaged and lost her fiancé. And she didn't find out any information about him. And when she told me that, my mind blew. I was like, oh my God, that is probably why there was some sort of connection that I was feeling and that she passed through me. Because there must have been some sort of connection because she had lost her fiancé and I was engaged as well. And she must have sensed that. So we're going to continue on with the audio. But I just thought that was crazy that I didn't think about at the time that one of the people from the society noticed.
That's her place.
If this is correct, she said that she can see the doctor and the soldiers as well. And they actually scare her. That may be why she keeps, another answer we asked is if she likes to stay in the attic. Is that you, Sarah? Did you follow me down here? One for yes, twice for no. We're all friendly here.
Yeah, so she followed me down.
Thank you.
You see this one? This one is not moving at all. And there's a lot of music going.
My God, that was loud. Oh
no,
my God, I'm so sorry.
What were you saying no to?
I'm so sorry, guys. That was so loud.
No cameras?
Do you not like the flashes, Sarah? So you don't mind them?
I'm sorry. A couple of these may be a little loud, guys. I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Are you the doctor that's here?
Was that a yes?
That was a lot of flashes.
Sometimes it's like with the one you get a bunch and then a second bunch.
Yeah, I don't know how that would, I don't know how to explain that.
What I'm going to do, doctor, is I'm going to set this by the window, okay? I'm actually going to set it on the banister.
Okay, so then this is a point in which we apparently run into a Confederate soldier. And because it was running to the end of the night, I start provoking them. I might have missed the other audio. I might have to dig and find it. But I'm putting the Ghost Meter Pro on the banister. So it's the handrail, and it kind of looped around and was wooden. I put the digital recorder on the carpeted step, maybe about a couple steps away from the digital or the Ghost Meter Pro. It's on carpet. Okay, let's go.
I'm going to set it right here, okay? All right, so you understand that?
So he understands.
It's okay, don't be afraid.
Does anybody else hear voices?
Here we go. This is the audio I wanted. So did you hear Bill's wife say, I'm going to turn the audio back up. She goes, "Hey, Soccer Marlene, we're telling ghost stories with audio." She says, "Do you guys hear any voices?" What she's going to say next is, "Do you guys hear a moaning or a moan?" Listen intensely. You guys are going to freak. Listen to this.
I haven't heard anything yet.
I heard something from the motel.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
By the way, I love going back and listening to this. There's some craziness going on behind the audio here. You can hear like a moo. So let me back up a little bit. Okay, let's try this again.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they,
No, it's not people outside.
You heard it? Okay.
Oh.
So when it caught that level,
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan.
Okay, here we go. I just wanted to stop it so I can make sure that if you guys hear me, really listen intently here. Trying to get the timing right. 101:38. Okay, here we go.
caught that level,
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
Did you hear that? Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Look, crazy. Did you hear? She's like, it's like a moan, and you hear it go, And we heard cars driving by this entire night. Thank you so, let me turn this, so sorry. Thank you so much for the host, Soccer Marlene. I really appreciate it. Did you guys hear that moaning? I'm going to rewind it again. Because we've heard how it sounds when a car drives by through the recording. You hear it go, and then you hear it climax, and then you hear it drop, you hear it go away. Listen to this. Bill's wife hears moaning. Nobody else hears it. The digital audio picks this up. I'm going to go right back. Let me go back a little bit here. This is probably the most important audio that I recorded this night.
caught that level,
Yeah, but
Here we go.
it sounded like a moan, moaning.
I even think the moaning starts probably as she's asking the question. Let me back up a little bit. 101:38. Let's try it again.
caught that level,
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
That you don't hear it? Okay, think only hear what Bill's wife is saying. She's like, "Do you hear like a moan?" Then you hear it go, "Huh? Huh." So it kind of goes up a little bit and then goes down a little bit. There's two separate moans. I'm going to play it again. We're starting at 101:38. Let's go.
caught that level,
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
Did you hear it? Aria says it sounded like her, like she's trying to give an example. If you hear, we'll play it again. She's actually talking over the moaning, so she's not doing the example. And I know my wife, and she wouldn't have been making those noises. She was literally petrified the entire time she was there. So you can barely even hear her say one or two words. And mostly it's me asking her, hey, do you want to go in the attic with me? And she's like, no. So you did hear it, Carla. Sounds like a sad moan, says Cake the Human. So let's rewind it a little bit again, because this is incredible to me.
Off that level.
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
And you hear the tone of it. It sounds female. You think it sounds like a male? Let me go back. I think it sounds female.
Off that level.
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
There, I would like for you to maybe knock that green beeping noise off the railing.
So that was the most significant audio. So right now we're trying to get, definitely female. It's totally female. Also, parts of audio that I didn't review with you guys in stream. There was a part where I heard Das Stick, like the stick in German, but I don't know why it was. I tried to research as much as I could to try and find out if there were Germans around during the Civil War, but for some reason, Das Stick was something that I recorded. There were countless footsteps. There were other moans that I caught, but this moan in particular was the most significant moan that we recorded. And I just see Gold Leafy on his back, so I'm going to play it one more time. This audio just literally trips me out. Listen for some moaning, Gold Leafy on. Listen to this.
Off that level.
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
So that is crazy. So then the last piece of evidence, we're trying to get this Confederate soldier to knock off this Ghost Meter Pro off the banister. We're trying to get him to physically move an object. So we start pushing him a little bit. I jumped forward a little bit in time.
Just hit it and knock it on the floor.
You're a man. Show your strength.
It's okay.
I bet I can knock that thing off that banister further than you.
He already had success there. Building them all. That's another.
What, are you afraid?
Oh, come on, Confederate soldiers, I'm afraid.
Oh, so you're back.
So he shows back up.
Do us a favor and knock that off the banister for us. You're a big, tough man. Let's do it.
By the way, I just heard that audio distortion again. Let me back up a little bit. When I say you're a big, strong man, there's kind of that...
Off the banister for us. You're a big, tough man. Let's do it.
I heard it there.
Yeah, you want to? Do it.
Every time that I heard that audio distortion, that shortly after that, the Ghost Meter Pro then goes off.
Please, knock it off. Are you the Confederate soldier?
Wait for me to say this.
Are you the Confederate soldier? Once for yes, twice for no.
We didn't do that. I didn't even know.
Okay.
It blipped once for yes under everyone else's talking that it was a Confederate soldier.
Thank
I'm not
you.
admitting that. I'm not seeing that. I'm closing my eyes and want to see it.
I bet you if there was a Yankee in here, you can knock that off the banister.
I straight call this guy out. I'm like, yo, you Confederate soldier, I bet you that a Yankee soldier is going to knock that thing off further than you. And let's see if we can hear the audio.
Heck yeah, you would. Come on. I'm from Tennessee. Show them how it's done in the South. Knock it off.
Oh, you don't want
to mess with us.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Lights on, because it's the end of the night. We're trying to get something big before we go.
Responses when they say they're sorry.
And it just really had a lot of...
Okay, so I think that was it for the audio. I couldn't hear the audio here, but what we actually capture is when I start taunting the Confederate soldier to knock that thing off the banister, you hear 3 boots on hardwood floor like walking down stair steps. because I had the digital recorder sitting on a carpeted stair step. It was weird to hear the steps coming down. He seemed like a gentleman. Well, he certainly wasn't playing by our rules. We're like, hey, by the way, do this for us, you trained monkey. And then he's like, no, I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do. I don't need to do what you're telling me to do. So he didn't do it. So guys, so that is, I'm going to do the moaning one more time because this is crazy. Let me, what was it, 36? No, it was 101, 36, I think.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
No, it's not people outside.
there's a lot of people out there walking.
Oh.
All right, here we go.
Not that level,
Yeah, but as it sounded like a moan, moaning.
Yes. So guys, I ended up taking that data to the Gettysburg Paranormal Society. And with that, I completely pestered him for about 30 days so I can get my hands on the audio. And I actually still have the original emails I got from him, or from this gentleman named Matthew. Back on, I received the data on 6/9 of 2012. So those are my ghost stories. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed them. Do you guys have any other horror stories that you would like to discuss? I'm sorry I probably was telling that story for about an hour. But it's very important to me. And that's why I kind of take the stance of you never know conspiracy theories. Like, you can assume that, it's probably not accurate, whatever the conspiracy theory is, or it possibly could be. So I wanted to share a little bit of my personal life with you. That was a moment in which I had both communicated with and had been physically touched by a spirit that is not on our plane of existence. And I think that it's incredible and amazing and kind of scary. But it just goes to show that we don't know everything. We'll never know everything. I used to have a made up saying. Let me see if I can remember it. By the way, here's Jack. So if anyone needs Jack furniture, we can open up the gates. It's something like, let me see if I can just pull it out my butt. To understand the Grimers 123. Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you caught some of that really spoopy audio. So I would applaud, but it's probably disabled. Yeah, I disabled all the audio for right now because Vincent was really making me jump, distracting me. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll open up my gates. Let me turn the game's audio back on because I turned it down so we can hear everybody else speaking. Okay. Looks like the application, I need to close it, open it back up. Where's my audio? Okay, it's off my DS. Let's see. Config, sound settings, input device, speakers, Blue Yeti. Hit OK. There's the audio. Now it's coming up. Wonderful. Okay. Jack is in my town too, says Aria. And yes, you can certainly come to my town. I'm going to go open up the gates now. So if any of you guys want to come, I finally got Jack in my campsite, says Code Mars. See, I told you Jack comes. But if you have Jack in your own campsite, you're better off getting Jack furniture from your own campsite because it's 3 meow coupons versus 5. But I'll open up my gates anyway. But yeah, it's a very important moment in my life. It was very personal, and I felt very comfortable sharing it with you guys. I think you guys are all awesome. and that might have not been the most exciting stream in the world in regards to video games. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. But that's kind of like the stuff that we do in Discord. It's kind of special and unique, and it's not always gaming. I'm role-playing in the cafe in ACNL. I like doing that. I like doing people's coffee and stuff as a little barista in the cafe. But yeah, so those are my ghost story, guys. While some of them I don't have evidence for, some of them I do have evidence for. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out my saying. To understand everything, you need to understand that we won't understand everything, or something along those lines. Like, in order to accept the fact that something possibly could be happening, we need to understand that we're never going to understand everything. So once we start grasping the idea that we're never going to understand everything, we can really start to understand the possibilities of what can happen. You know? So, like, it's like, if you don't believe aliens exist, then obviously if aliens exist, you're not going to believe it. But if you sit there and you're like, well, there's a possibility that aliens exist, and if you have that outlook, then you're going to be like, I'm open to the idea of aliens possibly existing, right? So that's kind of my stance on conspiracy theories and stuff. Like I mentioned before, we promote discussion and the what if scenario with conspiracy theories. It doesn't mean that all of them are accurate, right? But it's like, well, what if that conspiracy theory is accurate? Like, what if pharmaceutical companies are creating the zombie virus in a lab? What if they're doing that to create an undead army to use against their enemy? What if other countries are infiltrating the United States with drugs to break down the country from the inside before they attack it from the outside? You know, what if? So that's the whole point. What if? Let me check if my gate's still open. By the way, Wawa is the best. That's a non-spawn. My wife got me some white hot chocolate. It's no longer hot, but it's still delicious. So I mentioned the zombie virus is one of my biggest fears. Okay, so I'm gonna scare you then, Carla. So, since somebody hit the conspiracy theory command, but I muted all the audio for the rest of the stream, I'm gonna talk about a conspiracy theory. So, well, it's really not a conspiracy theory. It's actually real and it exists. Hashtag you should put subscribe on the purple mug. Cake didn't like that idea. I think it's hilarious. I think it's really, like, cheap, but really, like, funny, but, like, really sad at the same time. No, I muted all the audio, guys, so for the rest of the stream. Vincent upset me. So in regards to a zombie virus, I'll tell you right now, it exists. There is a zombie virus that exists. And in the deep parts of Africa, unfortunately in Africa, slavery still exists. So what happens in Africa is these slave traders end up capturing and kidnapping people and then sell them off to others for slave trade. And what they end up doing is they end up using the poison of a pufferfish. Now, you guys all know that a pufferfish, its spikes are poisonous. What they end up doing is they found a correct amount of dosage in order to use the poison from the pufferfish to put an individual into a zombified state. Now, this doesn't mean these people go on and try to bite other people's necks open and stuff like that. But what these people do is have a basic understanding of what's going on, somewhat, but their consciousness is thrown to the back of their head. So they can say, the master that is, do this, this, and this. And those people who are under the influence of the poison of the pufferfish will obey. And sometimes they've been woken up years and years and years later and not understanding exactly what was going on the entire time. So, we wanted to say, what is really a zombie virus? It could be many things. Putting somebody in a zombified state where they don't understand their own actions and are still walking around and doing things, but they're not doing it. It's just like their brain is working on basic instincts. It exists. By the way, Turbo, is it okay if I check out your shops as well? Go right ahead, Carla. I haven't even checked it out today. Oh, yes, I had. You can buy whatever you want, whatever's in there. We already have the zombies glued to our cell phones. That is true, though. Other people say that we have a type of zombies, which are the people who are constantly in like a drone state, who are constantly in their phones because they're mindless, because they aren't interacting with the world around them. I thought my joke was funny. Well, a lot of people feel the same way, Rachel. So that's not an odd and differing opinion, because other people have that opinion as well. The second zombie virus that exists, unfortunately, or very fortunately rather, only infects invertebrate insects. So insects without vertebrae. There is a zombie virus that... you have something for me, Marlene. So there is a... Oh, what is this? Stained glass is... There's a stained glass. I'm going to put this in my house right now. Oh, wait, hold on a second. So the second virus that I want to talk about... Oh, boy, I got so much stuff. Do you guys need a jingle bed? Also, Turbo, do you still want that modern wall? Yeah, you can drop it off. I gotta just put this in my house. By the way, you can catch these snowflakes, guys. You can't sell them. They don't melt. But when the snow falls, and I think you can give them to snowmen for, like, ice furniture. So if you want to start collecting those with your net, go right ahead. So this other zombie virus, they've done studies in which it affects caterpillars, all right? So the caterpillar, let me put some of this in here. Drop space. So the caterpillar will end up getting this virus, the zombie virus. What this zombie virus ends up doing is it starts to rot their brain. So their brain ends up melting, right? Because this virus ends up overworking the caterpillar's brain, and the virus ends up turning the caterpillar's brain into like liquid mush. But the caterpillar still continues to run around sporadically with its brain already destroyed. Eventually, the virus continues to go out of control. Eventually, the caterpillar starts to disintegrate as well into a mush. Birds then go and eat the caterpillar and then house the virus within their body, but cannot actually have the virus. It houses the virus in their body, but because the birds are vertebrates, it doesn't affect them. So eventually when the bird defecates on like a leaf, the defecation, the poop, will then have that zombie virus. A caterpillar will eat that poop off of a leaf, then will then get that virus, and the cycle continues. What is scary, though, is if this virus mutates with an avian bird flu, we are screwed. We are screwed. Lucky Scratch, he protects, it attacks, but best of all, he's back! That's Lucky Scratch. Could you seriously say that, Lucky Scratch, every time you come in the room? I love that. He protects, he attacks, but best of all, he is back. I really like that. I want to put the stained wall up. Well, I want to sell some of this stuff. Sell that, keep this. Crane game. Yeah, I was hoping that the crane game could be colored differently, but I guess not. Or the government forces it to mutate. That is another thing too, Arya. Oh, I can't switch music. Whatever. Unfortunately, we have to say, like, we don't know the extent of which they can do things. Like, if you want to be like, okay, well, how much can they do? Like, how much can the government do? And it's like, we don't know. I put my town flag in my stained glass in my study. Let's do... Dang it, I can't put it out. I want to see what the stained glass looks like. Oh, I got a lot of space in my bedroom. I'll put it up there. Alright, but I'm going to leave the voice channel now, by the way, guys. Disconnect. Okay. Probably going to have to wait to give it to you. That's fine. I like that wallpaper. Which wallpaper did you like? Wait, can I put Marshall's face on this? Hold on. Oh, Cyrus is going to be sleeping. The one in your Japanese room. Oh, you mean in my video game room? It's supposed to be my gaming room, but it's a Japanese wallpaper. Oh, you're talking about this room. Yeah, this is a wallpaper that I want to try to use for a Japanese-themed room. Oh, yeah. Hang tight, Carla. I got 3 other people in the town, I guess. I love that. I love how that was your first reaction. Marshall gets... I'm going to put... Well, because I ended up taking this from Marshallstown. So I'm going to put that on that stained glass window when everyone else is out of the town. Let's see. No, I want to put that back. I really wish I could make that black, but whatever. I gotta get more tables for in there to put my DSs on. But also, guys, I'm so sorry. We're almost 3 hours into the stream, and I never asked you how you guys were doing. Are you guys doing okay? How are you doing today? Today's Friday. Today's the last day of the week. School's over for most of us. Work is over. I hope you guys have some wonderful plans going on this weekend. Oh, here's my... You get the stained glass customized to QR codes and change the border. Oh, that's cool. So you can change both. TGIF. Cake the Human says, good. Ari says, my kitten was sick today. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ari, Sucker Lee says, good. Ari says, man, my mom had a small breakdown today. I'm sorry to hear that, Carla. Sure, you should use the display cases for the DS. Yeah, I should. I need to go. I should actually start buying some of those. I was packing today, says Code Mars. When is your official day that you're going to be in your new place, Code Mars? I actually have a friend of mine, a coworker of mine that is moving from Florida to Connecticut, and he just started. Him and his fiance started moving yesterday. It's just nearing Christmas. It's hard for the family. It is a hard time of year. For a lot of people, it's a joyous time of year, but for some other people, it's really hard. Brewster, I want some coffee. So, guys, since we kind of were doing more of like a community stream tonight, where we all kind of were involved to a point, what do you guys think about doing more community-styled games? I know there's certain games that a lot of people like to play, but one game that we used to play on the Kind OK Gamers channel was a game called, oh god, Carla, do you remember what it's called? It's like Cards Against Humanity. It's called, Decks Against Society. It's essentially Cards Against Humanity, but you can custom make the cards. And it was something that we used to do once a month with our followers and our viewers and stuff like that. And I was wondering, because we're starting to get up there in followers, I want to know if you guys want to start doing a little bit more community streams. Obviously, we're rolling in movie nights, and we're doing them, at least for now, twice a month. We're doing one where you guys kind of pick a movie and I kind of pick from your selections, and then I pick a movie. What do I want to do? I want to sell some stuff. Marshall will be on all the cards. That is a inside joke that all of us have, is Marshall. But what I would suggest, and what... Oh, geez, you blipped out there. If that's something that you guys want, I think it would be more fun if a lot of you guys get together, and if you have the time, that is, and kind of, you can take default decks that are just bad. And by the way, this Decks Against Society or Cards Against Humanity, it is not PG. You know, I do these streams where I don't swear, I don't make any sexual innuendos or anything like that. But these types of board games, or the card games, are very bad. So, with that said, if you guys are comfortable with it, you guys can always get together and make a bunch of inside jokes on the cards so that other people can get it, or you can just do base cards, whatever you guys want to do. You know, it's really up to you. I just kind of want to do a little bit more like let's play together type stuff, because Animal Crossing is limited on like, all right, well, we're going to run in the town and then maybe we're going to do island stuff. But then again, that's really it. You know, there are other games that we can play together that more of us can get together and have fun playing together. Well, a few cards will be dedicated to my love. Well, that's the fun thing about, because, like, it kind of sounds like I'm passing the buck, and I guess technically I am, but, like, we had... God, out my face! We had a couple of people... I don't know if you got into it too, Carla. We had a couple people who were making a big deck of a bunch of inside jokes that we had from all of our streams and our videos on YouTube and stuff. And it turned out to be a lot of fun, and it was a surprise for me and TacoRemix and Goose Bizzle when we played together. So I don't know if that's something that you're interested in doing. That music transitioned nicely, by the way. I actually meant to sell stuff? Or no? No, I'm good. Oh, I better not run. I don't want to spill my coffee again. I legit got sad when I did that. Okay, we got a Santa cap in the accessories, guys, if you want to buy it. It's going to take me forever to pay off my house debt. Yep, that's how Don Nook likes it. I was running with my coffee. Dude, you're gonna spill your coffee, man. Don't spill your coffee, man. Let's see, what games do I have on Steam? Let me open up my Steam. I don't think I have any, like, community games on Steam. I have Minecraft. I mean, there's that. You can always do Left 4 Dead 2. I do have Left 4 Dead 2. Let's see, my library of games. I just downloaded the Bureau XCOM Declassified because it was free on Humble Bundle. Death Spank, The Dream Machine, Gary's Mod, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, Pit People, Beta, Planet Coaster, Solaris Prologue, which is... I did a review for a indie game, Solaris Prologue, Sega CD, Sydney's World, which is just a god-awful game. I'm sorry to the developers. I did a review video too for Sydney's World. That was supposed to be like a RPG game that wasn't supposed to be like super bad. It was supposed to be like a kind-hearted RPG, but the verbiage was just terrible and it didn't connect. Terraria and Who's Your Daddy? Those are all the games I have on Steam. I wish I had an amiibo card countdown. Seriously, I will be getting a buttload of amiibo cards on Christmas. What am I doing? Alright. I think I do want to buy something from Jack, though. 1 candy a day from the calendar. By the way, guys, in just a couple hours is going to be Cake's IRL birthday. What are you putting up on my board, mister? What are you doing there? Don't you put bad things on my board. I can't wait to watch you open them, says Code Mars. I'm excited. It's gonna, like, honestly, it's probably going to be an entire stream of just me unboxing them. Oh, I got some unboxing. Might get some hot chocolate in a bit. So, I posted this in the Discord. So I went to Toys R Us. We went to go get my wife, get her wedding ring and her engagement band cleaned. And we realized that they closed down the Academy Sports there. And they put up a new store, which was Toys R Us. So, who is Belle from Disney? That is Soccer Marlene. So, I end up finding this. I know the color's completely gone off of it. The full box for $5.98. Now, I ended up buying 1, 2, and 3 of them. I actually sold my game to GameStop because I hated it so much. But I couldn't not buy this. So this comes with the Wii U game. It comes with both Isabelle and Digby. And then it also comes with some cards. Goldie, Rosie, and Stitches. So they will eventually be some. I bought 4 of those for $5 at GameStop. Oh my god. So when I ended up going out to the register, so really these were $6 a box. One of them turned to be $4, so it came to like $3 and change. So we even got more money off of buying 3 of them. And then I also ran into this that I've never, ever, ever seen before. It's made by Jakks Pacific. Jakks Pacific. It is a 4.25-incher figurine with 9 points of articulation. The Villager with, my hand's blocking it and you can't see it, this is an actual leaf. An Animal Crossing leaf that he came with. And he's got a Nintendo shirt on with the year 1889 on it. Apparently, this also has other people in this series. It's got a Koopa Troopa. I just want to focus for me. We got a Link here in the Goron tunic. We got Peppy Hair from Star Fox. And then we also have Superpower Mario. And this was $10. And I was actually planning on opening it, but I think a lot of these are going to be subscriber goal gifts. Oh, Carla, you're here. So I bought a couple. I'm going to keep 1 copy of the game, though, because I ended up, like, selling it. Oh, you got a Snowflake. No barrel roll. Oh, man, I love Star Fox. I played Star Fox, man, back in Super Nintendo. And it was so awesome, even in such pixelated state then. I can't see the leaf because of the green screen. I promise you it's there. The leaf is there. I promise you. I want the little play sets. Did you send me that link? You did. The little Animal Crossing play set. Like it was almost kind of like a Polly Pocket type kind of a thing. Well, no, Polly Pocket was way too small. But the one that Kodamar sent, man, it was a long time ago. It's like a little, it was like little tiny little babies on YouTube. Someone made a video of do the barrel roll thing. Yeah, it was the do a barrel roll was a big meme for a while. All right, can I put this music in now? Come on, nobody's in my house. What am I going here? It's on the YouTube. Yes, oh my god, it's so cute. It's like The Village. Earth Angel, Earth Angel, you will be mine. So I started listening to Panic at the Disco again tonight. Because of a couple days ago, or maybe it was earlier in the week, we were talking about music in the Discord. And I forgot who it was. Somebody brought up Panic at the Disco. And I love you, KK. Someone brought up Panic at the Disco, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to love Panic at the Disco. So then I started listening to the song they posted, and I was like, oh, I want to listen to Panic at the Disco again. So then when we were driving in the car, me and my wife tonight, we crossed one Panic at the Disco song, and I was like, more Panic at the Disco. So we listened to a bunch of that music. It was so much fun. I forgot about them. Now I'm like on this nostalgia trip where I want to listen to all these bands I used to listen to like 5-10 years ago. Let's chat. Oh yeah, they're not going to talk to me. So I want to go back and I want to listen to Him. I used to be a big Him fan. Taste my sneezes. Lootfeed121, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you love that little Christmas Animal Crossing gift. It's so adorable. It's my favorite, other than the Marshall one. I saw them at the festival at a festival a couple years ago, and my inner 14-year-old literally died. How did they well, were they performing? And then secondary question, follow-up, if they were performing, how do they perform live? Because I know there are certain bands that perform really well live, and some bands that really don't. Why are all these flowers going missing over here? I love Him, says Code Mars. Him was in... So we had our Deep Talk, hashtag Deep Talk last night, right? Him was a band that I listened to when I was like in my most depressed state, and all it did was just continue to just make me more and more depressed. So like when I listen to the songs, I'm like, oh my god, all that emotion is flooding back, like of those days of my depression. Villager statue has such a great voice. Oh, Village Valor. I'm so sorry. Where did you say statue has such a great voice? Excuse me. Billy Vallow. I was drunk, so I don't really remember that much. They covered Queen, which was so awesome. That sounds really cool. That sounds like a good event. I'm gonna water these flowers while I'm running around. Use your tears to water my flowers. Good boy. So, another big band that we like, and I say we because me and my wife both like this band. She actually turned me onto this band. The band's called Bayside. And Bayside is really good. We've seen them live probably 3 or 4 times. And we saw them at this Warped Festival. Fuel the Depression. That's what it was. It really fueled my depression. We saw them at Warped Tour. That's what the concert was called, where it was tons and tons and tons of bands playing. I already saw Bayside in concert once, and this is when I had my long curly hair. And I swear, when I went to Warped Tour, and I was in kind of like the front of the crowd, the lead singer of Bayside kind of gave me that look like, oh, dude, I recognize you, which was kind of cool. Why do you keep sneezing on me, bro? You ever heard of Rammstein? Are you kidding me? Of course I heard of Rammstein. Du hast mich. Of course I heard of them. Warped Tour. It was just like a tour where a bunch of bands go and they play music. But yeah, I've seen... Okay, so live concert. I've seen Bayside like 3 times. I've seen 3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace is one of my favorite bands of all time. Now, that is a caveat. They've replaced the lead singer because the lead singer left the band. He wanted to escape the whole drug scene that he once was previously addicted to. So he ended up leaving because the environment that he was around with the band kind of put him in a bad spot, and he wanted to make sure he didn't succumb back to his addictions again, so he left the band. I saw 3 Days Grace live, and they're just completely amazing. I've never seen Breaking Ben live. My wife has seen Breaking Ben live, and I think Breaking Ben is awesome. I'd love to hear them live. I met them. Who did you meet? Oh, you met Rammstein. That's cool. Either that or Ringo was high. Oh, well, it could have been. I was asking you if Warped Tour was the show you went to. Well, Warped Tour was a show that I went to. We saw a bunch of other people at Warped Tour, but just the significant one was Bayside that I really liked. 3 Days Grace was not at the Warped Tour. That was somewhere up in Buffalo, New York. Bayside, I don't remember where we saw them. We saw them at the Chocadero in Pennsylvania. I saw Coheed and Cambria, which literally is my favorite band of all time. Hands down, no question about it. Coheed and Cambria, they take a unique ear, but they're so freaking epic. And I don't use that word ever. They make comic books, and what they do is throughout their entire albums, they're singing about the story going on in their comic book. So it's like additional story. I saw them live in concert out here in Orlando, and they're a band that they sound just like their album. Because there are bands that you can listen to. Who sings Megalomania? Not Chevelle. I forget their name. They're terrible. Can I come back to your town? You can come back to the town, Soccer Marlene. I think we have space still. Oh, no, we don't have any space right now. We gotta wait till space opens up. But yeah, anyway, Coheed and Cambria was amazing in concert. One of the best moments of my life was seeing them in concert. Always wanted to see Avenged Sevenfold. I liked Avenged Sevenfold too. But I know the dude had to have like throat surgery because of his throat. He like destroyed it. Dabs, says Nook. Ari, I caught a little bit of Metallica at a festival I went to. I was at the front row for Mumford & Sons, which was amazing. They honestly, I would love to go to a Mumford & Sons show. Like, honestly, they probably will have more moshers than Metallica. I've never been to a concert by any famous groups. It's some people are into it, though. You know what I mean? Like, some people are just like, well, I don't really care to go to concerts. Before, I was like, I don't really care to go to concerts. But when I met my wife, her father used to take her to the concerts, like Breaking Benjamin and stuff like that. So then she was the one who got me into going to concerts. And my first concert was Bayside. And we were talking about it tonight. There was a band that opened up for Bayside called Valencia. I really don't know if they're still around, but I've never had another band that has opened up for the main act that were as good as Valencia. So we actually bought their CD like at the end of the show, like on the way out. And I shook the lead singer's hand and stuff like that, and the rest of the band members' hands, because they're just so awesome. Arya says, I think they're incredible. Speaking of Mumford & Sons, they started as the sun was setting, and it was honestly perfect. They put on a good show. They sound like a group of people that would put on an amazing show. Carla, question, what are the points of the snowflakes again? When it snows on the ground, you'll eventually find snowballs. You build those snowballs up by rolling them around on the snow. They get bigger and bigger and bigger. You push two of them together that you find around your town, and it'll make a snowman. I think if you have the female, the white snowman, depending on the size of the build, you can turn those snowflakes in for ice furniture. Yeah, I disabled effects for the rest of the night. I'd rather just go see KK. We can go see KK. Let's go see KK right now. You want to see him? Let's go see him. Let's go see the KK Slider. Hey, DGM. I hope you're doing well. I want to hear a theory. My theory is that all theories are just theories. How about that? I actually just found out about the Malaysian plane today. I thought that was a pretty interesting conspiracy theory. Yay! KK Slider, KK Slider! I stay at the back of concerts now. I'm still weary since the Manchester attack. About 5 minutes from the arena. Oh my god, that's scary. Well, it's like, I like your shirt. My shirt, thank you. Yeah, it's sad that we have to be careful now because of stuff like that. And that's why I'm kind of glad I was able to see 3 Days Grace and Coheed and Cambria. Because I probably won't be going to another concert because of all the things that are going on. Good night, Cake the Human. Thanks for sticking on by tonight. Hope you have a great night. By the way, I like how a lot of music now is using like old retro video game sound effects. I've never seen anything scary in person. Although I think I've seen a ghost in my house. It doesn't do anything extreme. Like whatever the ghost is, it just likes to mess with me for laughs. Or maybe my old pet's messing with me is my guess. And you know what? You have there are spirits that kind of act out like that too. Pokemon Star Rachel. It's I mean, like, we know that they exist. Like, we just know that they exist. But do we really know their intent? Not all the time. You know, we don't know that. And will we ever know it? I don't know. But, you know, as long as it's not physically harming you. And Code Mars was kind of talking about the story about her messing with the Ouija boards and about, like, having demons communicating with them. I've studied a lot of possessions, and there's a lot of possession videos on YouTube that are fake, and there's some that are questionable, meaning they're possibly real, and there's some of them that are very scary and weird. Hey, Mayor Vico. And I would tell you, if you want to look up real possession videos up on YouTube, what I always do, by the way, I pause the video and I do a slow scroll all the way through the video just because you have stupid people doing jump scares in the videos. Have a good one, Soccer Marlene. I can't see the messages. What messages? Let me refresh. Oh. It's probably because nobody said anything yet. That's probably why. Let's do this so she sees it. I did dream my old cat came back. I think it was a sign that he is at peace. And you know what? That brings up a good point, Pokemon Star Rachel. You say that I had a dream that my old cat came back, and I think it was just a sign that he is at peace. So, okay, so options are: it was a sign that he's at peace, right? Like it was a legitimate sign to tell you, don't worry, I'm fine. 2, it was just a dream. 3, it was your perception of just your dream that he is okay, or your pet, your former pet was okay. So does it really matter if it was really real, or that your perception of it makes it real? You know what I mean? Let's go see KK. All right. Mayor Vico! He was put down back in July. I'm sorry to hear that. Turbo Media control the speed, playback speed on YouTube. Yes. No, but what I mean is, like, I slowly scroll through the video with my, like, holding it and scroll through it, because there's lots of videos that are like, oh, well, go look at this alleyway, there's a ghost, and you're waiting for, like, a blip in the screen to kind of, like, move a little bit, but somebody stupid just jumps up in the screen with a scary mask with a large, like, loud jump scare music, like, sound effect, just to scare you, and that's annoying me. So I kind of just like skim through the video first. As silly as it sounds, the dream helped me feel a little better. And then at the end of the day, Pokemon Star Rachel, that's really all that matters though, right? I do not believe in ghosts. Well, you should have showed up to the stream 3 hours ago, DGM, because we were all telling ghost stories, and I actually have audio evidence of many ghosts that I experienced with, so yeah, whoa, yeah. Dance my hips, swing my hips around, swing my hips. That's why it's so hard to say goodbye. Pokemon Star Rachel, I had my family dog pass away abruptly. She ended up having bloat. This was, like within my depression era in Pennsylvania. And, It was very hard. I'd never been so emotionally broken since my grandfather had passed away, which was the first death that I'd ever experienced. Can I what the stream again? What? Yeah, you can. If you're saying watch the stream again, you can certainly watch the stream again. Once I'm done streaming, I highlight it and then it stays on the channel. So you can always watch them after the stream as well. Oreo was having strokes. He could barely walk anymore. My dog, all of a sudden, I was with her at 3 in the morning. She wouldn't go to the bathroom, but she wanted to go to the bathroom. And I kind of got upset and I yelled at her. I was like, why'd you take me outside in the cold and not go to the bathroom? I ended up being woken up at like 8 and 9 o'clock, and my parents were like, you know, she's lethargic, she's not moving, we're going to take her to the pet's office. And I'm like, yeah, she's probably fine. And I go back to bed, and then I got a call, and they're like, yeah, her stomach exploded, she has bile on the inside of her body, she's going to die, we have to put her down. And that was one of the most emotional things I've ever had to deal with. But what I'm saying, though, is that's only the iceberg of, because I own pets now, too. I've got 2 pets of my own, and I love them more than anything in the world, other than my wife. And I just know that when they pass, it's going to kill me. It's going to be the worst thing I ever experienced. So I understand that these pets that we have, nobody on this planet is going to love us more than our pets. I don't even want to call them pets. They're family to me, you know? So... Clouded marsh shadow slowly appears spookily. Cloud as the marsh shadow has appeared. How you doing, Cloud? I don't know if you guys already talked about it, but there's a case that is happening now to a guy on Twitter about David the Kid. Please explain, Mayor Vico. Thanks so much, Turbo. I gotta head to bed now. Good night, everybody. Have a good night, Carla. Thanks for stopping on by this evening. Don't run with your coffee, everybody. I'm glad you're doing well, Cloud. Can I has the KK music? Oh, I think I have other music. I have a couple other musics in my chest. I'll pull them out and see if you need them. But this one I think I need. Let me get a new kitten. Just not until my dog is gone, because my cat and dog didn't get along great. And some don't. Like, my dog is fine. Well, one of my dogs is fine with cats. The other one, Kyrie, doesn't. We've never had her around a cat before. But Dakota, we used to have her around with another cat. And they just played differently. And they didn't understand that both of them wanted to play differently. So, that was the one thing that my dog had with another cat. I don't have a single one. Well, if you don't have a single one, then I'll give you these other 2 tracks. Alright, well, I guess it's in my storage. Here we go. The Waltz and Spring Blossoms. What are you talking about, DGM? She light my hair all the time when I went to bed, and it was said when we had to put her down. I had a dream about her, and she had like clones of her. It was weird. So I take your dream as, oh, well, I'm interpreting your dream as you understand that there are going to be other cats in your life. You just hope that they're like your last cat. You're hoping that they're like your last animal. Oh, nice house. Well, my house is garbage, but thank you for the compliment. One of my first cats from Paws and Prayers program. We always adopt our dogs. Well, we didn't adopt Kyrie. We bought Kyrie, who's supposed to be a purebred German Shepherd, but I'm pretty sure we paid for half German Shepherd, half Black Lab, although I love her regardless. Dakota we found at a shelter. She is a pure white German Shepherd. People just dropped her off because they couldn't get an apartment with her because she was a German Shepherd, so they literally just dumped her off. It was so sad. But that's fine. She's ours now. Adam Ellis, who lives in New York, has been documented the ghostly activities of a ghost named David since August. The abnormal phenomenons, which include his cat staring at the door at midnight every night, unmarked calls, and his local coffee shop appearing to mysteriously shut down, have captivated hundreds of thousands of people and left him terrified. Interesting. Do you have the do you have a link to his channel? Gold Leafeon. Somebody put this up. Did somebody put something here? Matthew was here. Matthew was here. Sorry to spell wrong. You're fine, DGM. I got what you were trying to say. I got what you putting down, my friend. Okay, so that's Adam's Twitter account. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Make new friends and keep old ones. One's silver and the other one's gold. A circle around that never ends. That's how I want to be your friend. Here's a hand and here's another. Put them together with each other. Oh, just from Twitch Unity. Is that what I do? Is that a heart? I'm not good at typing. You're fine. As long as I can try to basically understand what you're saying, then you're fine. I'm really happy, by the way. I know we were telling ghost stories all night, but I'm really happy that we got some snow flurries tonight. That means it's going to be snowing on the ground soon. You know you want this, fish. Come on, fish. You got a Leafeon sweater. What kind of sweater is it? Here's another fish. Oh yeah, baby. What time are we at? Okay. Because I know if I help one or two pets, at least that will give them a better life, and being on the streets would. That's correct. So that's how you have to kind of look at it. Have a good one, noob. That's kind of how you have to look at it, and it's very sad that, you know, we outlive our pets, our family, you know, pets. But we have to look at it as the type of life that we were able to give them. And when I say that nobody's gonna love us any more than them, like for example, for example, my dogs, we put them in the bedroom or we leave them out, and we leave to go to dinner, me and my wife or something like that, or we go to Disney or whatever. They're waiting for us to come back. If I accidentally step on one of their paws, they're just going to give me a kiss afterward. They're not going to bite me. You know what I mean? Like you're never going to get that type of love from anybody else in the world. I don't care how nice you are. You have bad moments. You're going to shout. You're going to yell. You're going to argue. You know? And at the end of the day, as long as we can make sure that we fill them with as much love as we could, then that made their life special. You know, and that's all that we can do. He uploaded this video a couple months ago showing what is happening in his apartment. Can't wait to get this game, says DGM. DGM, start paying attention to the discounts. I think you can buy it here on the channel. I'm not even sure. For like $20. I think it's like $19.99. You're telling ghost stories, it's a good thing. I'm a ghost. Yes, we're telling stories about you. He's from Manhattan, Code Mars. I left a message. Oh, you did? Let me go check the message. Is this new fish? Caught a pond smelt. Excuse me, don't run with your coffee. You'll spill it. Guys, by the way, it's December 1st. Aria, for you, it's December 2nd. But Nibby was here to help you, foolish Mayor Kappa. Oh, I'm not a fool. I'm no fool. Found out that Disney has recently released some Nightmare Before Christmas products for pets. Oh, really? My cat washed my hair. I was saying before. This is DGM. I found a Sally-themed pet bed. Oh, interesting. My wife really liked that movie. I was kind of like, on it. We kind of watched that in between Halloween and Christmas. I take my role as Mars Shadow very seriously. I need to get a role in Discord as Mars Shadow. As a Mars Shadow. You know, I haven't even done any roles in Discord yet. Happy Turbo Moss! It's gonna be so close, guys. Day 1. Countdown to Turbo Moss. Oh ho ho ho! Found some jackfruit and water bowls too. What do you mean I can buy the game on Twitch? So the way that it works, DGM, is if you're on your computer, you can click on like below here. You can click on the game and you actually buy it, and then I get like a percentage of proceeds. It's very minuscule, but it's actually not an expensive game. Even if you don't do it here, I don't care. You know, it's just you can get it on Amazon. You can get it through GameStop. Oh, look at that, a koi! Oh yeah, Walmart, Target, they all still sell it. What you're gonna find though is you're gonna find a Welcome Amiibo edition, which is fine, but you'll get an RV card with it, which is nice. I really struggle to get into the festive mood. I guess it's because I can't afford to give people what they deserve. Yeah, but your intent is still there, Aria. Oh, I'm not going to be able to donate it because I got people here. And I've been there before, too. I've been broke. I was actually just talking about my wife today. I said I was remembering that there's a point in time in my life where I ate top ramen for 2 months straight, every single night. And my roommate's girlfriend was like, I've never seen anybody eat so much top ramen so frequently. I was like, I'm broke. I don't got no money. Like, what do you want me to do? I was actually in an apartment with my coworker at the time back in Pennsylvania, and I was saving up all my money, all my extra money that I had. Oh, what is this? A dace. I had a engagement band on layaway for my now wife. So I was like, well, I want this engagement band, but I need to eat. So I'm going to decide not to eat to get this engagement band. And I don't regret it. We just actually went and got it cleaned today. PQ! What's going on, PQ? How you doing this evening? Earlier we were telling ghost stories. And now we're just hanging out and playing some Animal Crossing for a little bit. We had some ghost stories being told by some of the followers from our Discord and in the stream. It was a grand old time. Coach, don't cross the line, dude. I always hate that. Wrote on the board, Turbo. Okay, let me check. No offense, Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh, by the way. We should read Kuri. Piggy, doing good. Got off of work super late because first shift left a ton of dishes. Oh no, dude. Just don't tell her the story about the red room. When you read this, I hope you're doing well. If not, I hope this cheers you up. Happy days, Leafeon. You're so cute, dude. Appreciate it. So if I ask a question, does it get read out loud? If you write in the chat, don't read this out loud, then I won't read it out loud. Winnie the Pooh is nice, but you can't put different shirts on him. Oh, you're talking about an actual product. I'm just saying, like, the character in general. I like Winnie the Pooh. He's slowly become one of my favorites. Winnie the Pooh is cute, though. I had tons of different outfits. This Pokemon star Rachel, Cloud. No, I meant with the turbo tokens. Oh, yeah. If you want, and you don't want me to read... if you do that, do you want me to answer it out loud, or do you want me to answer it, like, in a whisper? But for the most part, there's probably not a question that I wouldn't be afraid of answering. It's just, does it fit the stream? Meaning, like, is it appropriate for the stream? But I don't mind answering any questions. While Duffy and Shelly may have outfits for just about every season. No, I don't mind. I was just going to make a small question. Yeah, you're fine, dude. Shoot. Go right ahead. And yeah, if Curie's still on by the time we end this in a little bit, we'll definitely raid her. I love Curie. She's super nice. Oh, I gotta buy some stuff from Jack. I don't have my water. I feel like PQ because First Shift left ton editions at my work too. Okay, so this is what Jack has in his RV. We have the spooky wall, spooky carpet, the candy machine, green pumpkin head, Jack in a box, Patch's dress, Patch shirt, pumpkin pie, purple pumpkin head, red pumpkin head, spooky wall lamp, tea table, wooden display stand, and yellow pumpkin head. I actually got to go to my museum and check what I don't have. See, this is the thing, and I'll be completely honest with you, Cloud. I still think I'm a little baby streamer, and I don't mind that. To be honest with you, I feel like I've been getting follows pretty quicker than I imagined at least. So I think I'm a little behind in setting up things like roles and discords and stuff like that. I certainly do plan on doing things in the future. I am getting things like subscriber gifts for people that I want to mail out. I've sent some gifts out to other subscribers and stuff like that. I'm still kind of getting the hang of doing this solo, to be honest, because I was with a group before. And I kind of dealt with some of this stuff, but not all of it. But yeah, that's certainly something that I do plan on doing in the future, but anytime soon, I don't have an idea as to when I'm going to do it, to be honest. Actually, I was pushing a subscriber emote through. Let's see if we got the subscriber emote approved. By the pumpkin head. We go dashboard. You can have roles on Discord. I guess so. Like, there's also, like, mod roles, too. So, like, once I figure it out, I obviously would give my current modders roles in Discord as well. But see, the great thing about the Animal Crossing community is you guys haven't forced me to, like, be, like, don't do that stuff. Don't say those things. You know, you guys have been, like, really great and awesome and stuff. So I really haven't had to be like, dude, cut it out. You know, you guys have been, like, really cool and really chill. Did you just push me? Did you just push me? Where's my emote stuff? Okay. Okay, it's still pending. It's not approved yet, but my emote is pending. I can't subscribe. Hey man, if you can't subscribe, dude, no big deal. Like, please, if you don't have the money, don't worry about it. We're just hanging out, having fun. Animal Crossing players, we're super chill. So pick you. I'm assuming you play Animal Crossing then. But yeah, we're chill, man. And look, DGM, I'll be honest with you. I know I shouldn't be saying this stuff, but you can still watch me for free, my friend. I'm not going to put this behind a paywall. I'm trying to make these streams to a point where it's more community and it's just us hanging out, having fun, playing video games. Shouldn't be about money. Now, if you want to donate money to me or you want to subscribe to me, cool. But what I'm telling you is you certainly don't have to do that, man. Like, just come in and hang out, coming and watching the stream or telling your friends and family about it, dude, that's more than enough. What is going on? What did you do? What is going on? What did you enact? Okay, so fish. Oh boy, what is this? What did you do? Did you do a timer or something? What is going on here? Well, free? I never knew that. Well, if you'd like to subscribe, you can hit that button up there. You have become a subscriber of my channel. Let it go. Let it go. I don't have room anymore. Let it go. Let it go. I gotta clean out my pockets. Or if you'd like to donate money, you can do that down below. If you want to donate bits, that's a penny for me per bit. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. So, there's that. Did that make you want to subscribe to me? Here we go. I gotta put this koi in here because I don't have that in my... I'm broke though. No, this song will be stuck in my head forever. There's an old video I actually made on my YouTube channel where it was called, like something like Frozen Farts. Elsa Lets It Go. And what I did was I took the Frozen songs and I added fart noises over every time she used her like ice magic. So like when she goes, actually I'll show you. Let me show you. Let me pull it up. I think it's funny. It's a funny man. All right, let's go to my channel. Video manager. I'm so sorry. Disney was like, oh, you're not going to get money for that. And I'm like, haha, screw you, YouTube. I'm not monetizing any of my videos, so you don't get any ad revenue on this. Okay. So let me open up another tab on my OBS. Hold on. Don't start yet. Open up a tab on my OBS. We're going to do browser source. Sure. Will this work? Can I do it like that? That's really weird. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Remove this. Remove it. This audio is so bad. Yeah, it's anytime I click off my 3DS screen on my computer, the audio like just really choppy chops. Let's add window capture. Whatever, let's capture the window. Frozen farts. Nope. Remove. We're gonna figure this out.